Yo, 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 yo. We're here. We're trying to set something else up real quick. Where is it? Boom. A bunch of things we need to get. Whoa, we're not watching an hour and a half fucking show. Extra history. Here, I'll do this. I'll add you to save the playlist. We'll save you to long form. Long form. Is Apex even launched right now? What are these things open? Holy cow, I've been doing a lot. Been doing a lot. What else is open? Okay, we're good with that. You're in long form now. Let's go back to this. Close this. Emily talks about her time at the beach. Okay, Linus, I got you there. Okay, I think I'm good. Let's see, what did we miss in the morning? Nothing. Oh, I think I got all of it. Let's go to watch later. Let's skip over the first couple ones. We're gonna go right to this guy. Let's go.
There we go.
All right, Dave. So this is a bit more of a
If you're
sober
seeing
topic.
this, I'm in jail. That's what dude said. Bro, you did not send me some stupid messages on Kick already.
We want it to be.
You're about to get
Former
deleted.
military lawyer David McBride has been sentenced to 5 years and 8 months jail in the ACT Supreme Court for sharing classified military documents with journalists.
It's titled "If You're Watching This, I'm Going to Prison." But what would be your message to people in the instance where you have to go to prison?
If you're watching this, I'm in prison. Again, all I can do is thank the supporters. I'm not going to complain. I went into this with my eyes open. I always said I would go to prison with my head held up high, and it may be that I need to go to prison in order to fix this country. We need to look at how this country can pretend that I'm a national security threat when there are so many other things wrong with it. So much bribery, so much corruption, even war criminals
Jordan
admitted in jail,
76.
and leaders
Hey there, waving
of
hand
our
sign. I am writing to
completely
propose a
failed
collaboration
war effort
opportunity that I
20
believe could
years,
mutually benefit you
Blocked.
as a
$40 billion,
streamer. My goal is to help
41
talented
Australians,
streamers like
good
you reach a
designers,
Immediately
wider
and no
audience and
blocked.
checks,
increase your
and no
viewership.
one has had to answer
And
for it.
social media followers who have new
Stronger in
streams to
jail,
watch.
we will build our
Add me on
forces.
my
Plenty of
Discord username is
the
hand
people
pointing
down
right,
through the
hand
ages
pointing right,
have
modify
come
91.
out strong. Maybe if you can, if you know my family, if you know my team, extend a helping hand, extend some love to my family. It won't be that easy for my girls, but they're strong girls. And when I tried to explain to them, or my ex-wife Sarah did, to say, you understand Dad might be going to jail, they were like, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, which I just love. They're not scared. They're a chip off the old block, and they are proud of me. Do not go silent until I'm out. I believe we'll win on an appeal. I believe the High Court will eventually have to say that we can't put people in jail for doing their jobs. I was a military lawyer. What do you think my job would be if not to pick up on potential illegal within the organisation that I was meant to supervise? I did my job. Put me in jail. My head will be held up high. I may have been a bit emotional when I was sentenced, but I can assure you, once the dust has settled and the exhaustion is gone, I will look back on this and be so grateful to anyone who supported me. Don't think this is a failure. This is a victory. We're going to win this, and when we do finally win it, it will be so fucking sweet.
First Australian to go to jail over the alleged war crimes in Afghanistan is the whistleblower that brought the allegations to the public's attention.
Well, there was quite a vocal reaction inside the courtroom from supporters sitting in the public gallery. The judge at one point suggested he might clear the gallery if they didn't quieten down.
McBride pleaded guilty to 3 charges, including theft and sharing more than 200 documents classified as secret with members of the press.
Mr. McBride, of course, was taken away to jail, but...
His honourable duty, an Australian military officer, effectively has one meaning, and that is to obey orders. Well, we fundamentally disagree with that.
Good on you, mate. I know you've got this. The truth's got to be on your side. One-term elbow. Drake was a disgrace. We got your back, mate, and thank you for your service. Good luck, mate.
The thought that there is no legal duty, public interest duty, when you're a member of the armed forces, I think should cause all of us to take stock about what are the protections here for the public interest when it comes to Australia's military and any future overseas deployment.
Here we go. Ready up.
Fucking go. Now we in it, rocking in the zone, bro.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
I didn't do anything wrong. As you guys know, a few months ago, I talked very briefly about getting into a fight with somebody. I didn't name names because I didn't want to bring that up, but some people were able to go in full schizo mode, and they were able to figure out that I just followed Bryce Hall on Twitter, so it had to probably be him. I'm very surprised that Tifu wanted to put this out. I'm glad he did because it's funny as fuck. I haven't watched it yet, so we will watch it together, and we will see what happens. Bryce Hall was a massive, massive TikTok, like, he's still big, like, he still gets huge things. Right, I would say he's one of the earlier faces of TikTok, and now he's gone full boxer mode, and he only does fights. That's all he does is fight promotion and fighting in general. This whole thing was so stupid, and honestly, it's just hilarious.
Oh, what's up, YouTube? You guys know I've been posting for a while. I think I'm gonna start prioritizing my videos on X because I feel like I can do more vulgar stuff. A lot of my videos on YouTube are getting censored, either killing a fish or cursing or drinking, normal things that I do.
Let me start this video by saying this. I can totally see myself being very close friends with Tifu. Like, I genuinely think I could become I wish Tifu was close to me. I would chill with Tifu all the fucking time. I like Tifu a lot. Me and Tifu chilled all night, and honestly, I haven't had those kind of vibes with someone in a long time. He doesn't fuck with you? No, he really fucks with me. Dude, he texted me after everything, after all this, and he's like, yo, just hit me up if you want to come over. Like, I have an extra room, blah, blah, blah. And he really wanted to come with me to hang out with him and come to Florida. But I would love to hang out with Tifu. I like him a lot. It doesn't feel the same, though, without Tifu's window that he originally had. I feel like I need that.
Dude, Tifu, no way. Seriously, pick a number 1 through 36. Oh my god!
I'm not kidding you when I say this, chat. I had the entire area staring at me. About 70 people who were influencers and about 90 people who were pretending to be influencers. It was basically Among Us of trying to find the imposter of people that are lying, because so many of these people were pretending to be influencers and should be there because it's kind of like exclusive. The influencers were the ones on the table. The people that weren't are the ones that were behind them, like these guys. Now, the thing is, I was acting like one of these guys who were not really friends with any of these people. And as a lot of you know, and unfortunately you've reminded me of my podcast, I troll a lot. A lot of my stuff is jokes. I troll nonstop. And a lot of you might think that this is something that I do on stream. I do it as a personality for stream. I want to let you know something, okay? This is not on stream. I didn't even know this was, I hardly knew this was filmed. I didn't think Tifu was even going to put this out. okay? I was just doing this because I like being fun. Not a problem. I just like that. I like trolling. I like having fun. I was fucking around. Tfue told me he wasn't even going to put this video out, okay? I love it.
So you guys get the f out of here. Let me live my life. I'm playing money that you've never seen in your life.
I didn't know that was in there. Oh my god, I hope it's the whole thing, because it is so quotable. It is so quotable, but Bryce Hall was screaming at me across the table. Yeah, honestly, someone make that a Bryce Hall emote, please. That is so fucking funny.
Nah, I mean, it's like...
Bryce, shut the fuck up.
Dude, we're going to Las Vegas. Whoa. It's also 6 a.m. and I'm tired. I just got to Vegas. We're checking into the Red Rock Casino. That power slap and Dana White hooked us up.
Yeah, the Red Rock Casino is where all this went down. That's where every person was staying at the Red Rock, and I didn't know that, so I stayed at some shitty inn near the Clown... What was it, Clown Fiesta? I forgot what it was called. I stayed at the Westgate.
Whoa. Oh my god!
Something about Tfue that's interesting is you think he'd be like 5'8", but he's actually like 6'2" and a fucking monster. He's huge.
Slapping UFC merch. With that.
Whoa, sugar lips.
Damn.
Sugar lips.
She's extremely nice, by the way. She was nice the entire time. She's nice.
What we're about to have in here is gonna be crazy.
Mentioned UFC, going inside to watch the power slap.
No way. Aiden Ross, XQC me. That was good. I like that.
Yeah,
Bryce.
Turner.
Oh my
Bryce.
god, this guy's never been to Mother Vegas?
No.
Wait. Tfue just met Bryce that day? I thought that Tfue knew Bryce. He made it seem like he knew Bryce for so long. I thought he knew him. He was nice, but goddamn, he pissed me off. Because what did he say? I was talking about my gym, and it's almost like you slowly saw my mic volume get lower and lower in his head. Because I said I had a gym in Austin, and he just was like, muting me almost, because he didn't want to hear the fact that I had a competing gym. He's like, that's my thing. Leave.
Are you mic'd up all the time? Everything I say is like on camera.
I'm trying to convict you.
So what if you're having a TV? I don't roll that way, brother.
Cool, so why are you on cam?
Hey, dude, TV, no fucking
Why is that guy on... Why'd he come back if he's not doesn't roll that way? I'm so confused. Like, what?
Dude, you're a legend.
Sketch is a really nice kid. Like, I really hope this kid does well in life. Kid, he's fucking like 2 years younger than me. I like Sketch a lot.
Big fan.
Big fan of you, dude. You've been fucking going crazy.
I might infect you. I'm trying to roll some coins. Dude, let it fly. Dude, you're fucking awesome.
When Sketch stops having like this like massive pop off from the Hey Brother thing, we'll talk to him. We'll wait for him to come down a little bit and I'll hit him up. He's a little bit busy.
I mean, I thought you were sitting in one of them kid chairs or something. You know,
What a booster seat,
yeah,
bro.
you must be. You're a lot. What are you, 6'2" or something?
Yeah.
Same too, brother. I just don't wear my boots.
Yeah.
You got the platform shoes on. He's cheating. Check them.
Dude,
Check them.
My dad
Those are nice shoes.
Monarchs, dude. That's the best shoe ever.
He's jacking his swag.
Dude,
Send him a letter. Send him a letter. Cease and desist. Cease and desist. Here we go. I'll send him a lawnmower with these motherfuckers. No. That's dope. Chico.
Dude, my hand's gonna be fucking purple.
I know, you can be sore. I'm gonna go piss.
Alright,
I'm gonna go piss, brother. Dude, love you. Nice to meet you.
Hey, where you guys at, man? I'm at a gamble. You alright? You doing good? Oh, Dad, we take that. Oh, she's got $10. Oh my god! Thanks for watching the stream, guys.
Okay, first of all, I didn't even recognize Nick Merckx when I saw him because I thought Nick Merckx would be like, I thought he was like 45 years old, and he might be. I have no fucking idea, but this guy looks clean, clear, and under control. Like he looks so young. I don't understand. Why does Nick Merckx look so young? Like that haircut, the style, the gold chain. Like he just looks like I don't know. He looks young, very, very young. He looks like the ultimate douchebag, but in a good way.
Guys later. Homie on the right just doubled down on 10,000. That's your left.
You said he's a bully. Just wait.
You know what? You are right.
Homeschooled, bro.
Recharging my shield.
He's not the bully.
Oh, let's go. 14.
go out fucking side for 5 minutes to get some fresh air. This is crazy.
Or you are getting goddamn triple teamed over here.
This is some rich white people shit. Spam the emote. This is white people shit. It's just like $500 plus. It's so stupid. Would I do it if I was Tifu? For sure. This is. You gotta realize how much money Tifu's worth, chat. I mean, probably, if not more. I mean, he's worth so much money. It's disgusting. Like he's omega huge.
Buzz? Yeah, give us a little buzz. Okay.
And then it's funny, he got his Twitch contract and then stopped trying. He absolutely scammed the fuck out of Twitch.
Wild. You have not slept in like 30 hours. No, 0 sleep. Oh my god.
I'm gonna ask Siri every single spin.
Okay.
Whatever Siri says, I'm gonna do it for 1,000. Siri said 12.
Okay, let me lay down some of the rules. Bryce Hall, this is Bryce Hall. You just saw him. Bryce Hall claims that he hasn't slept in like 30 plus hours. Now, I believe that is probably true. This guy who's next to him, let me just lay down the rules or laws. This guy next to him was apparently he's like some marketing genius. He's like, I can get anyone in marketing. He's not a streamer. He's not a YouTuber. He's nothing. This guy is, when I said he had all the money, people were coming to him for money. So I don't know who this guy is, but he had so much money stacked away in his bag that the bigger streamers, the people like Tifu's and shit, and Bryce Hall were going to this guy asking him if they can borrow money. Because this guy had, and he was just like, yeah, here's 10 grand, here's 20 grand, here's 30 grand. He did not care.
Siri, pick a number 1 through 35.
That would be 3.
So yeah, he was asking Siri basically where to put it.
Chat, we need 3, 12, or 14.
12, 14, 12. 3! Oh my god! Wow! Siri, that was my Siri.
Yep.
That was my Siri.
He actually did it.
Big one. Yes! Go! Dead flat even. Boys, this is how you gamble responsibly. Oh my god. I'm dead flat even. I came with 10 grand and I had 10 grand. This week needs to get out of here. Actually, I have $500. Oh wow, you have a lot of money.
All right, let's lay down what happened. So I told you guys about someone trying to pick a fight with me, and I didn't want to say what it was because it was so fucking stupid. First of all, this guy looks like my uncle. This guy and I literally probably bonded. I don't know who he is, but we bonded more than anyone else that entire night. Bryce Hall, let's just watch. It's so stupid.
Wow, you have a lot of money. Hey, increase your bank account, you fucking loser. Get out of here. He's good. No, he's fucking. I'm not kidding. Dude, hey, no, you're not. Bryce, shut the fuck up. Customer to you guys. No, you're not. I'll give you some chips.
Here's what happened. Let me just show what happened with Bryce Hall, and this is what's so dumb about this whole thing. I'm sitting there with Tifu, and basically I'll tell everything. I don't care. Bryce Hall was basically acting really fucking mean to the lady. He was acting ridiculously mean. He was like getting super fucking pissed at her, and like you know how like you troll with like the lady that's like sitting there. He's like, oh, like you know how you're like, oh god damn it, come on, you can't give me a better hand. Well, he was like, fuck you, like, God fucking damn it, like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, this is such, he was like kind of yelling, right? And I say to her, I'm like, he's just joking. So then I said that, and Bryce Hall looks at me, points at me, and demands for me to get out of the entire lobby of this place, because he said that what I was doing was insane. He runs this shit. I'm a broke bitch that can't afford any of this stuff. And he basically screamed and yelled, and about 100 people came around us to watch Bryce scream
Until I find what I want,
the
yeah.
entire time for like 15 minutes. Then he starts screaming. I don't know if it's in this. He starts screaming, saying he's going to kick my fucking ass. And you can see the veins popping out in his neck as he's yelling.
Who's telling someone else what they're supposed to do with their life? Who fucking are you? You're supposed to run over there and die like you?
We all were sitting there. XQC was sitting there. Like, we were all so confused on what the hell was going on.
Well, maybe that's not what you're supposed to do then.
So I was trolling when he was shitting on me, obviously, because I knew this was so fucking stupid.
Blah, blah, blah. Same person, different fucking game.
Yeah, you're the same person talking shit on you for looting all the
You
games.
say I got
Exactly. You
bitched.
fucking suck.
That's
You
not what I'm.
understand
Are you out of
much
town
better it
stupid? You
is
don't
that
understand basic
he's
logic.
saying all
That's
this
not even
stuff
what I
and
was
I'm going
saying.
with it, and it's all wrong.
Me and the
And
other
that he
fucking
looks
player
like the
were
dumbest
fighting
idiot because
because
all
you
these
were
people know that I'm him,
Congratulations, you
but
and the
that's
other
not true.
player.
We're
Blah
fighting.
blah
You blew the
blah.
fucking game too. I landed on him and broke two.
And yet you're dead.
You didn't do shit.
You're dead.
Shut the fuck up. Customer to you guys. No, you're not. Give me some shit. Yeah, but
I'm happy I'm dead in front of a fucking dumb bitch like this.
Leave the game.
No, I'll stay here and talk shit the whole time. Actually, I can do
Get muted then. Bye.
Bye.
Ah, $50,000 in a year.
Walk around the whole game with fucking 0 damage. Pussy.
That's not true.
relax. I'm gonna ask you to get up from the game, okay?
So they get me out of there, which is insanity because even XQC, who's up here on the top left, is like, why the fuck is Miz being kicked out? And Bryce Hall just got so mad. The entire audience is just staring at me. This guy who is friends with Bryce is just like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, he felt so bad. And Tifu was laughing the entire time because Tifu knew I was just trolling. And this guy just looks like a fucking gavone. He's just sitting over here like, hey, what the hell's going on here? So I leave with my Corona that I got for free. Obviously, I don't have the money to play on this table. This table's crazy.
This shit can.
It's a 2 to 8. I wish you put more in Tifu because this thing was funny as fuck. He screamed at me for like 15 minutes straight, and you could see his veins popping out yelling at me.
I'm on my way to help.
So I just trolled more. I'm like, you're right, I can't afford it. I'm Tifu's cameraman. Let me stay. So then XQC starts talking to this lady who's kind of in charge of this whole thing, and it's like, this guy literally didn't do anything. Bryce Hall just basically freaked out at him for no fucking reason. And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell's going on? Because look, do I think Bryce Hall could probably kick my ass? I'd hope so. He's a fighter. So I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is the dumbest shit in the world. And he was so pissed. Do anything wrong.
No, Siri. She's a good girl. Siri, pick a number.
So at this point, I'm at an opposite table because Bryce Hall and I obviously are not going to be close friends. So I left. I walked away. Bro, if I was you, I'm going to jail and taking his life. Okay, first of all, that's not what should have happened. Second of all, you realize if I retaliated in any way, that makes me look worse. Everyone already knows there that Bryce Hall looks like an idiot. Okay? Everyone already knows there that what Bryce Hall's saying isn't even true about me. Even if it was, it's ridiculous. I didn't have to do anything because it was just so obviously dumb. Tifu defended me a lot, though. He was there. He's like, dude, stop. Bryce got up. He pushed him back down. He's like, dude, stop. This is fucking stupid.
No way. I don't even apologize. Like, I lost a lot of money.
It's fine.
Okay. No, we're good.
No big deal.
Enemy over there. I wonder what they found.
One in chat if he did this because he found out who I was. Look at his face. He doesn't even mean it. Obviously not, dude. He probably realized, here's what I'm thinking. He probably realized that I have clout, and he probably realized that Tifu was recording this whole thing, so he probably said to himself, fuck, I probably should make up with him because probably.
You
You owe me some money, though. I'm not kidding, bro. You were right.
What about you two? Go to a table together, gamble with each other, and you win.
I'm going to Mexico in like 2 hours.
No, that's not an excuse.
If you told me beforehand you're like, I'm going to Mexico, I'd have to ask Bryce for some money, but I'd be down to go.
Bryce, get in here. Bryce, come on. You guys are friends now. Let's go. Yeah, get close to your friend. Bryce, give him a kiss. We're good.
He hated that. He hated all of this. Like, that's humiliating. You had to kiss me because you fucked up. But yeah, that was basically it. Wasn't it pretty funny?
Try getting him off your ass, bro.
There's a cartoon called Bluey that's probably one of the
Fluffers
most popular
2016
children's
says,
properties,
"Can you crap
at the
damn?"
moment. At least I think so.
Yeah, I was
based on
just
everything I see. It's hard to
lowering the
know for
volume
sure
on
because
the
what
thing
I
that
see
I'm
from
watching.
Bluey is people fighting about it.
I will
like,
try
on
to craft
Twitter
you.
all the time. there's like this
Just don't know how I'm gonna
constant
get to
war
that.
raging about Bluey and adults watching Bluey or whatever.
Who is?
And I just don't really know anything about the show other than
What?
it's a very popular kids program.
class,
But
only 1
anyway,
minute to
it's
go.
become
I
so popular that now people are
You ain't
starting to
gotta
do
give me,
their
bro.
own
Rack it back up, rack it back up.
where they'll
Bro,
buy
I
a
don't wanna
costume
play with you. I
from Wish.
promise.
Rack it back up.
And say, hey, come
You're
on
a
over, we're doing
pussy.
a Bluey event at our
Alright, bro.
local
Drop
business.
address, bro, so I can
It's
come
our
pick this up.
restaurant.
How
Bluey
about that?
stopped in.
How
and
about
said,
you
"Man,
fucking
that's
suck on a
delicious, so why
dick
don't
because
you
you're a
all come
loser?
say
You
hi
want
to
to try to
Bluey?"
come over to my
And
house
we
because
did
of a
this
video game?
last-minute
Have you
vote
any
for
concept
Bluey.
of reality in your head?
Ends with thousands of
Have you
people
any concept of reality that you met someone on the internet, played a game with them for 5 minutes, and now you want to come over to their house? Do you know how absolutely psycho that is? No, you couldn't. Dude, I guarantee you my 4 NCAA letters will fucking whoop your bitch ass any day. When did you ever do at any sort of elite level of combat sports, motherfucker? Show up and find out.
And it didn't even cover his face. It was just
Yeah, I did it. Then where did my 4 NCAA letters come from? Where did my 4 NCAA letters come from? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're out of town stupid. I've got 3 UFC fucking championship belts over my shoulders with pictures from training them. You're a dumb motherfucker. Pull up then. Pull the fuck up, Mr. Tough Guy. People like you that talk all this shit, they go down so easy. You'd last 2 minutes in the gym and then you'd walk away. You'd fucking go out crying. I've seen your type over and over again, buddy. Big talker gets on a video game and says, let me come to your house. Oh my god. Nobody who ever fucking actually fights does some stupid shit like that. If you had any actual experience, you wouldn't be challenging people on fucking video games because you'd have something actually to achieve in real life instead with fighting. You dumb fuck.
after underwhelming Bluey event in Vegas. Oh, so it's like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in the unknown then. Instead, they got a long line and a man in a onesie. Thanks for ruining my 3-year-old's day. One person wrote
You've
on
never
Facebook.
been in a gym to train in your life, buddy. Shut your ass up. Talking on shit that you don't know about. You look stupid.
As well as the opportunity to meet
Man, I don't even gotta talk about the color.
the free event at the restaurant, part of a national hot dog chain on Saturday. They weren't impressed with what they saw. Timu Bluey costume. It's a guy in Bluey pajamas. It's not even an actual character costume. I don't know a whole bunch about Bluey, but this looks pretty good to me.
I hope you would if
Just
you were
asked one of
hot.
their employees to put this on. They found it at Walmart. Just said rip it.
I'ma watch you, fucker.
Rings class, only 1 minute to go.
Yeah, but I don't know. They're both pretty good.
The kids were distraught. Some kids were crying. Some kids were upset, crying on their parents' shoulders.
3,000 people. Father Valentine ring class. It's near.
Yeah, but like, why though? Why would they be crying? Like, oh fuck, he's got a beard. It's not Bluey. No. Oh, get me out of here,
30
Mom.
seconds till class.
I
Weekend.
drove 1 hour just to see a grown man in PJs. Other parents defended him. It's a free event and a risk you take.
Yeah.
Look at that little bitch leave, too.
My son had a great time.
What the fuck?
He came to see Bluey, and he got fucking Louie wearing the costume that we found out in the dumpster. What more can you ask for? He was such a good guy. He even stopped and talked to my son.
You'll have a couple seconds to get in.
That food looks good, though. You and me both.
Looks like a care package is coming in. Big things in that.
They seem to have a really good attitude about it. They seem sweet. They seem super sweet. Isn't Bluey a she? Bro, I know nothing about Bluey. I have no fucking clue. Bluey's popular as fuck. I know Bluey's huge. I'm very well aware. I see drama about Bluey all the time. There's like 2 different camps, like I guess like Bluey adults or something. So people that watch Bluey without kids, and the people that say it's weird to watch Bluey without kids, and they're always butting heads on Twitter. But I don't know anything about Bluey. So like bronies, I guess kind of, but I don't think they're watching Bluey sexually. You have to remember, bronies during their heyday, they masturbated to My Little Pony. I don't think Bluey's to that level. I think it's people that just really like the cartoon. I I think that's all it is. It's not. I don't think it's sexual. Maybe it is. Like I said, I don't know anything about it. Only what I see on Twitter all the time. Do all bronies watch it for sexual gratification? Not all of them, but that was like the peak of it. You don't remember the what was it, Sparkle Dash Cum Jar, or Rainbow Dash Cum Jar? Like there's most of it was sexual for bronies back in the day. Also, R.I.P. to bronies. They have gone extinct. We were actually just talking about it on the podcast not long ago. Bronies completely fizzled out. They don't exist anymore. There's a woman on a podcast stating she indeed gets off to the dad on Bluey. I'm already deep into the Bluey. Is Bluey's dad some kind of sex icon or something? What's this about?
Come and get
I
your
don't listen to it, but it doesn't sound real.
Sexual
Bluey's dad. What the fuck is Bluey's dad's name? What's the respect on it? Touching yourself to Bandit. What the fuck? Why did this come up? Trigger warning, miscarriage episode of Bluey. Bluey tackles miscarriages? What?
We're gonna have to slide down.
Definitely doesn't sound real.
Hold on, using a phoenix kit. A support formation. Grenade.
You were just looking at it. Of course he's a cartoon in there. Would it be better if they brought out a real dog? Like, I think it's, like, both are bad, but I'd rather it be the cartoon dog, honestly. What the fuck? She's like, hold on, wait, let me throw you a bone here. It's a real dog that you're masturbating to, right? That's the fucking weird move.
I was gonna remind me of myself when I was your age.
Thank you for clarifying.
We should go here.
Can you play a clip of his voice? Wait,
What?
What does Louis sound like? Interesting. It just sounds like she was making some over-the-top silly shit. Like, I highly doubt she's done that. Maybe she has. I'm not her dad. I have no fucking clue.
What are you talking?
What was his name again? Bandit? Bluey Bandit Fart. Man, like I said, I don't know enough about like the Bluey
fuck is
fandom,
Bluey?
but that sounded a lot like My Little Pony bronies right there. Are you telling me the first thing that comes up for Bluey Bandit is Bluey Bandit Fart? I don't know what the Out of Bed podcast is typically about, but man. Dog fucking, huh? Interesting. Do you remember that clip where the brony is at a My Little Pony convention and he goes up to the Q&A panel and asks the cast members about the sexual undertones of the show? Oh, God, yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah. Damn. That is old. That's like, I think that might even be over 10 years old now, yeah. Like I said, bronies went extinct. They didn't even get, like, replaced by anything. They didn't, like, venture off into other fandoms. Bronies just vanished. I don't know what happened. Maybe there was, like, a great rapture or something, and they all went to, like, the My Little Pony Rainbow in the Sky. I don't really know, but they just aren't around anymore. Here's a membership, Carter. Have you seen the video of that brony who confessed to his dad on the phone that he jerks off to My Little Pony? He said it's called clopping dad. Is it real? I don't think so. And I don't think this is where the term clopping came from.
My friends are bronies, and I actually make animations and art for the brony community.
Man, speaking of extinction, do you remember Skype? Jesus Christ. I'm glad we evolved past Skype. Actual, just official malware.
We're in this together. Remember that.
That's another thing. I kind of watch porn.
Clips are what cities use in their hair. This is called a magazine.
See, he's laughing about it. It's not real. That is still a crazy thing to do with your dad, though. Dad, I'm gonna give you a call real quick and just go with it.
It's called flopping. No, it's called flopping, Dad. It's
rite of passage. You don't get it.
My neighbor's pool is nasty. Rotting leaves and sediment all over the bottom, a whole ecosystem of undiscovered microorganisms floating around beneath the surface, entire plants stretching out and making themselves at home. I think I might see a shark at the deep end. But just as I was about to bravely dive in, just for another phone, Beatbot saved the day, offering to sponsor this video to show off their AquaSense Pro all-in-one smart pool cleaning robot. Thank goodness. I promised my neighbor that with this little guy's help, we'd have the mess sorted out in no time. Of course, that was before our pool contractor came and had a look at it and said,
Couldn't even
"So
get a
you
goddamn
realize
thing off.
There are roots on the plants growing out of this pool, right? It's a robot, not a miracle worker. But hey, we're gonna give it a crack at it. Maybe the miracle was inside us all along. Let's take a closer look at the AquaSense Pro before touching it. Comes with a risk of cholera. Comes with a quick start guide and user manual, which is chock full of certifications, including IP68 water resistance. The robot itself, which is full of fun little gadgets and tricks. Beatbot says the AquaSense Pro is the world's first 5-in-1 intelligent pool cleaning robot. It'll do the floor, the walls, the water line, and surface cleaning, plus optional
How
water
can this
purification
shit be
with these
so
little
tight
cartridges, although
off
you
the
don't have to do that. What you definitely will need, or at least we will, is this debris
Beacon-Evic
collection
04.
slot that helps it skim
Hi,
anything
bro.
along the surface and deposit it
Beacon-Evic
in the dual layer
04.
basket right here.
Can you
as
follow
well,
back?
and this one's really cool, as this
No,
second debris
I don't
collection
engage
slot
in that
boom,
behavior.
sucks
I
up
don't
debris
think
from
that's
the
a good
bottom
way to build
and
followers,
helps
sir.
the robot cling to the side of the
If you want to
pool
build
as it
followers, you
uses
should
its
do it in a
scrubbity
more
toilet brushes
organic
here.
manner.
Sorry, pool brush. Scrubbity
Those
pool
followers
brushes
don't
to
account for
clean the
anything.
surface. Rounding
If
out
they
the
ain't gonna
accessory
come,
package, we've got the charging
there's
dock.
no
This will
reason
go in
to
your
have 'em
garage
follow
or in
you.
your pool house, and it'll give the Beatbot enough juice for anywhere from 2 to 3 runs, depending on whether it needs to go all the way down to the bottom and hang out down there, or if it can just float around on the surface. And last but not least, the hooker. Sometimes stuff goes wrong, and if you ever need to retrieve the bot, this will be very helpful. It's also good for fishing. But enough chit-chat, it's time to take her for a test drive. There is an app, but you're not obligated to use it.
Whose fucking
There's physical
pool is
buttons on the
that?
front for bottom and walls, complete
disgusting.
clean, and eco-clean, as well as a power button. Now, taking bets. What's going to clog up first, the basket or the propulsion jets?
I'm going to say propulsion jets.
All right, then I'm going to do a floor clean, because it'll be using the treads.
All right, you cheater.
Cheating is the best way to win. Good luck, buddy.
You didn't press the go button, right?
What go button? Have you tried it? Hey, there we go. It's spitting water out the top, so I guess that's just to maintain its buoyancy?
Yeah.
Cool. We had wanted to put a GoPro on it for this, but they warned us that it's a pretty delicate balancing act, having it at exactly the right level for the skimmers to work, so theoretically it should map first.
Yeah.
So it made it to the bottom, but my question is, does it have a sensor to know when the basket is full, or is it just gonna like try and pick up all of this?
It has 20 sensors, but I don't actually know what they do.
Sick. Hey, it picked stuff up though, or at least shuffled it around.
Moved it. Well, there's a clean spot.
Challenger
Look at
means
this
little if
plume.
you
It's just
die.
spewing green at the back.
Beautiful plumage.
What in the
I checked this
fuck?
footage from
Means
before, and
little
you
if
can't
you
hear it
die.
up here, but the microphone picks it
should
up.
land there. Looks like fun.
I love this part. Like Colin, it doesn't complain. It's a robot. You know, if it kicks up enough sediment, we may not be able to find it.
That's a good point.
I'm
Is she surfacing?
Thought it was, but
Well, she's doing something. Oh no, she's cruising, man. It's going along the edge.
oh,
I
okay.
can see the little brushies going.
Okay.
I'd like to make it clear that everyone involved understands that this is not what this robot is for. We just wanted to see how it handled a worst case scenario. Before it goes all the way into the deep end and we lose visual contact, should we hook it out and see if it's full?
All right.
Okay.
light ammo here.
Come here, little buddy. Oh shoot, I lost it! Oh no! Come back, little buddy! Oh no! And now I've kicked up all this pool hole broke in half.
Somewhere in this big area.
What the fuck? There's no fucking way!
Our problem
problem is that water blocks any RF communication, so there's no hope of using the app to summon it back, and cloudy water blocks visual communication. So we have no idea where it is now. I mean, it's still doing stuff, but there's no way it would have enough capacity to keep picking things up at this point. It'll do its thing and come up eventually, right?
Well, if it gets trapped in the weeds, though.
Oh, true that.
And there's a shark down there still.
I can see maybe the top third of the pole. Jordan spotted it, guys. We got it. We got it. Oh, yeah, we got it. Oh,
jeez.
God.
She mad.
Wow. I think this stuff is too thick.
Too much.
It's just too much. It can't even collect things because it's completely gummed up. Yeah, it was probably like that in like a minute.
Yeah, that ain't right.
Realistically, we expected all of that, though. The AquaSense Pro is a maintenance robot. It's not going to be able to do anything for your busted-up pool equipment. So while we wait for the pros to turn this Titanic into a treasure, courtesy of Beatbot, who's going to be helping with the restoration, let's take the AquaSense Pro over to my place and look at a more realistic, reasonable scenario. Only problem is, it's kind of too clean. Mess it up, boys! And don't tell Yvonne we did this. Oh, God. Oh. Okay, that's probably it. Really?
Well, now my hand's covered in glass.
You threw glass in the pool?
That's what the pool guy gave me.
What the hell? Didn't they just service this today, too?
A little bit.
It'd be a good idea to
While
land here,
Jordan
diba?
gets the chitosan clarifying agent kit installed, I'm just going to poke around in the app a little bit and see what we can do here. And I guess we're not going to do quick mode. Let's go ahead and do floor, wall, and water line.
We got using the surface too. We should do surface as well.
Okay, right. Thanks. Honestly, there's not really that much to configure.
Well, no, once it's done, it'll give you a report on there as well of what it's done.
Cool. Theoretically, that's it. We're good to go.
Pro lights on.
You want to do the honors?
It feels so wrong.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even talk about what it's supposed to do when it's done. It's supposed to come back to kind of where it started and then park at the side so you can just grab it out. I guess we'll see. This is cool. Obviously, it's going to disconnect as it goes below the surface, but right now, it's got a Wi-Fi signal. It's telling me exactly what it's doing. That's awesome. It's definitely doing stuff this time.
You got people on you?
See that it is picking up leaves, which is kind of cool.
I mean, it might have been doing something last time. We just couldn't see it.
I don't know if I can find a rhyme or reason to its cleaning pattern right now. Apparently, it uses their clever nav navigation system with sonic sense sensors and intelligent path optimization. Whatever that means. We're testing obstacle avoidance by hucking that frisbee in there, so we'll see what happens there. And it has a different mode powered by a quad-core ARM CPU that handles irregular shapes and difficult transitions. It's got 9 motors to run things and uses an S pattern for the floor with an N pattern for the walls and water line and an S pattern for the surface. All of that is in theory so far, though. Let's see how it does.
So I think this means it wants to be picked up because it's full. Take a look at that. Oh, wow. Once it came to the surface, it reconnected to the phone app, and it told us that it wanted the basket clean. So we've got that done. We're going to put it back in the water and see what happens. It looks like it wants attention again. So it's telling us to clean the basket again. It's still at half battery. That's pretty good. So it tells us it spent whatever amount of time on the floor. Cleaning was interrupted due to clogged filter basket. We're back on the surface again after another 44 minutes. So now we're right about 2 hours of cleaning time. Yep, that's gross again. We got a good pile going there. We're starting to lose some daylight and we're not quite done. So I think we're just gonna put this thing back on the charger and come back another day to finish up. We're also down to about 30% of our battery life. So this guy could use a little snack before we put him back in the pool. We're back. It's a much nicer day today, so we're going to throw the bot back in the pool and see what happens. Beatbot told us it won't clean stairs, but they didn't mention that it just seems to have trouble with the entire concept of stairs and is getting hung up here.
Beatbot does have a new multi-zone mode in testing that they say should enable the AquaSense Pro to handle big sets of stairs like these, but unfortunately it wasn't made available to us at the time of filming.
Looks like it's just stopped on us here. As far as we can tell, the light's flashing red, so we're going fishing.
Obi says,
Let's
W.
just look at the cleaning record here. 123 on the floor, 44 on the walls. hasn't managed to make the surface yet. I don't know how it's been 9.5 hours of battery life in any mode here. Oh wow, I think that's the fullest we've seen it. Well, there's actually a lot of leaves, I will give it that. We've given the AquaSense some time to recharge and thrown it back in the pool. Unfortunately, it's gone back to floor mode. So at this rate, we might get the surface of the pool clean sometime next year. I should make it clear, we have updated the firmware, followed all the directions properly. It does its own thing when you put it back in the water. Beatbot's support gave us a little help with the app, so we're going to get this thing going on just the surface this time. What we have to do is unselect the ones we don't want. And that's it. There we go.
At the end of the day, or I guess days, wow, we put the AquaSense Pro through quite the ringer, and it picked up a ton of debris from the pool. Far more than I would have really expected, given its intended light pool maintenance every few weeks use case. And as the bot gets more exposure to North American pools and BeatBot pushes out updated firmware and apps, we expect to see the AquaSense Pro to continue to improve over time. So if you want to be along for the ride, we're going to have links and who knows, maybe a promo code down in the video description. In the meantime, a big thanks to BeatBot and the pros at Mr. Pool who have finally completed this incredible transformation of my neighbor's pool. Can you believe, Jordan, that there's a tile mosaic bottom on this pool?
I had no idea.
I didn't even know it was blue. This thing's gone from terrifying to honestly kind of tempting. All that's left is to put a bow on the AquaSense Pro and hope that it enjoys its new home.
Fingers crossed.
If you guys liked this video, maybe you'll like the one where we tried a lawn mowing robot. That was actually one of Jordan's first videos. How do you get mixed up with all these?
Enemy spotted.
Recharging my shield. 1 sec.
Let's explore
I
that
had a
way.
really nice time at the beach. It was very relaxing. I got a little bit tanner.
Also, welcome back, Excel Love.
Oh, what the? Why is it so?
That's a true blue classic all the way from
Oh
Selva.
my! I guess I was only out in the sun for like this way. Oh my! Yeah, I don't think I did it properly, but that's
My
okay.
ultimate's all charged up
I'm
and
sure
ready.
I'll do so much, like a lot of IRLs in the future where I will definitely get tanner, of course. So.
From his girlfriend the night before.
You wanna get up and
No
pin 'em all
idea that
here?
Samantha hadn't been the one to send it. When Dwayne and Samantha's dad, James Koenig, witnessed someone who appeared to be a burglar attempting to steal his truck, they confronted the man, running inside the house to get James's help. But by the time they'd returned, the thief had fled from the scene. Neither Dwayne nor James realized they'd just seen the man responsible for Samantha's disappearance. Once the kidnapper had successfully tested Samantha and Dwayne's debit card,
I'm on the
making
killing
sure it
edge.
worked, he returned to his home and his captive victim. There, he poured himself a tall
Anyone that walks through this area is dead.
where he violently forced himself on Samantha. Afterward, he strangled
Unless they can
her to
zip
death.
line or jump
The
up
man
to
who
me
kidnapped
somehow.
and killed Samantha Koenig.
You guys are
named
moving out of
Israel
here?
Keys. To those on the outside looking in on the man's life, he was unassuming. Just a father to a daughter and a reliable handyman, a contractor, and a construction worker with his own business, Keys Construction. But since the details of his heinous actions were brought to life, he's been called by some the most meticulous serial killer of the 21st century. Make no mistake, Israel Keys was a monster wearing the mask of a man and one responsible for a whole laundry list of serious crimes, from burglary and bank robbery to arson, kidnappings, with his serial killings claiming the lives of between 11 and 20 victims, as well
Where
as
were you getting
numerous
shot?
aggravated sexual assaults added to the already degenerate pile. His crime spree toured the breadth of the United States as early as 1996, only ending after 2012 when the FBI learned about what he'd done to Samantha Koenig. And what they uncovered made them utterly terrified of Israel Keys. Once he had murdered Samantha, Keys would leave her body stashed in a cupboard inside the shed, where he'd been keeping her prisoner. After all, he had places to be and a flight to catch. The next morning, he woke up his daughter, who was only 11 at the time, and left for the airport. He traveled down from Alaska to New Orleans to board a ship that took him on a pre-planned cruise around the Gulf of Mexico, which lasted for around 2 weeks. At the culmination of the New Orleans cruise, Keys was starting to get increasingly worried. In the short time he'd been away, his abduction of Samantha had garnered a lot of publicity. So he decided to take matters into his own hands. Rather than returning home directly to Anchorage, Keyes figured that perhaps the best way he could draw attention away from the crime he'd committed back in Alaska was to commit more crimes somewhere else. He began exploring parts of Dallas, Texas, intent on launching a full-blown crime spree. Soon enough, in Aledo, he came across a single-story house. It was a 3,500 square foot property, complete with red bricks and a barn nearby. Once he had successfully robbed the house, Keyes set fire to the barn, burning it to the ground. After arson around Aledo, Keyes drove to another nearby Texas city, this time making a pit stop in Azle. Was he there to take in the local sights? Maybe visit the Ain't That Something antique store? No, he was there to knock over the National Bank of Texas. Putting on sunglasses, a breathing mask, and a hard hat, as well as a pair of gloves, Keyes marched into the bank with the same handgun he used to threaten Samantha Cannon. He brandished the weapon at the teller, robbing before the police had time to arrive on scene. Later, Keyes would bury the money he'd stolen in a hole that he dug in the Post Oak Cemetery, located in White Rose, Texas. Still on his return journey back to Alaska, still mid-crime spree, Keyes even came close to carrying out yet another kidnapping. While he was in an area of Texas just south of Cleburne, he spotted a woman who was out walking her dog. For a moment, Keyes considered abducting her too, and even almost did, but ultimately quickly gave up on that plan and instead focused on making his way back to Anchorage. On the 17th of February 2012, Keyes arrived back home in Alaska. Now, while it might seem that his original plan to kidnap and hold Samantha for ransom was just a lie Keyes told the teenager while he abducted her, that was still very much his intention. And the fact that he'd already murdered Samantha wasn't about to stop him from trying to get his hands on the ransom money. At the time, after all, despite the publicity her disappearance had drummed up, the police and the Koenig family had no clue that Samantha was already dead. So Keyes enacted arguably one of the most horrific parts of his twisted plan. He took Samantha's lifeless body out of the cupboard he left her in, then applied makeup to her frozen face. Unsettlingly, he sewed her eyes with a fishing line so they would stay open, given the impression that his victim was still alive. He then wrote a ransom note demanding that $30,000 be deposited into the shared account belonging to Samantha and her boyfriend. Keyes still had the ATM card for the account in his possession, which would allow him to withdraw money should the family accept his demands. Then he snapped a Polaroid of Samantha's body, giving the appearance of still being alive, and holding up a 4-day-old issue of the Anchorage Daily newspaper. Having it visible in the frame proved the $50,000 be the teenager while he abducted her. That was still very much his intention, and the fact that he'd already murdered Samantha wasn't about to stop him from trying to get his hands on the ransom money. At the time, after all, despite the publicity her disappearance had drummed up, the police and the Koenig family had no clue that Samantha was already dead. So Keyes enacted arguably one of the most horrific parts of his twisted plan. He took Samantha's lifeless body out of the cupboard he left her in, then applied makeup to her frozen face. Unsettlingly, he sewed her eyes with a fishing line so they would stay open, giving the impression that his victim was still alive. He then wrote a ransom note demanding that $30,000 be deposited into the shared account belonging to Samantha and her boyfriend. Keyes still had the ATM card for the account in his possession, which would allow him to withdraw money should the family accept his demands. Then he snapped a Polaroid of Samantha's body, giving the appearance of still being alive, and holding up a 4-day-old issue of the Anchorage Daily newspaper. Having it visible in the frame proved the photo had been taken recently and would, according to Keyes' plan, make it seem like the deceased woman was still alive. Both the photo of her body and the note containing his ransom demand were then left at an Anchorage park underneath a memorial flyer for a dog named Albert. This was where Keyes instructed Dwayne Tortolani to look for further instructions using Samantha's phone. The message ominously read, Connor Park sign, under pick of Albert. Keyes disposed of Samantha's body. He drove her out to Matanuska Lake, a lake just north of Anchorage that was covered with a sheet of ice during this time of year. Taking Samantha's body out of his truck, Keyes then meticulously dismembered her corpse using a chainsaw before cutting a hole in the ice and dumping her severed remains in the freezing lake. Around this time, Dwayne found the ransom note left in Connor Park and shared it with Samantha's father, James, as well as the rest of the family. Believing Samantha was still alive, deceived by Keyes' sickening photo of her body, James deposited the requested sum of $30,000 into the account that Keys now had access to. Members of the local community had generously donated as much as they could to help.
Hey there, waving hand sign. I am writing to propose a collaboration.
No, I don't want a collaboration. I want to mute you.
Mutually benefit you as a streamer.
Block.
My goal is to help talented streamers like you reach
Block.
a wider audience and increase your viewership. And
Does
follow
that
us. I have a
work?
strong network of gaming enthusiasts and social media followers who
You're
are
a
always on the
weirdo.
lookout for exciting new streams to watch.
You're a weirdo.
Add me on my Discord. Username is hand pointing right, modify 91.
Hand pointing right, go to my Discord, please. I would like you to be on my Discord.
God, don't you guys know how to scam someone without using Discord? How fucking new are you on the internet?
In Alaska, he was not only too close to where he'd left Samantha's body, but staying in one place would make it easier for police to catch up with him. This did little to deter the authorities from tracking where in the southwestern U.S. he was making the numerous withdrawals of ransom money. Authorities in Alaska had made the controversial decision not to release the surveillance footage of Samantha's abduction to the public, which is often done to encourage citizens to come forward with any relevant information if they recognize familiar figures or details from the footage of a crime under investigation. However, without the assistance of the public, police were able to determine that the man responsible for both the kidnapping of Samantha Koenig and the robbery at the National Bank of Texas had been driving a white 2012 Ford Focus. Officers in Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas were alerted to keep an eye on a vehicle that matched the description. The car that Keys had been using was a rental vehicle. Somewhat ironically, he tried to obtain a replacement to better cover his tracks, only to receive another Ford Focus, the same model and even the same color. This would eventually lead to the authorities arresting him after a Texas Highway Patrol officer spotted Keys and the vehicle on the 13th of March. The officer alerted Texas police and began following the white car onto Highway 59, having noticed that the driver was traveling above the speed limit. The Highway Patrol officer made his presence known to Keys, getting the kidnapper to pull over to the side of the road. The moment he stopped, a fleet of unmarked vehicles raced to the scene.
Where are they?
Texas Rangers, pulling out their cars and surrounding him. Israel Keys had nowhere left to run. In a quick search of the murderous car later, authorities had found Samantha Koenig's debit card along with her cell phone.
Yeah, that's a no bueno. I'm getting the fuck out.
Also in the car were a ski mask.
And I think they became the kill leader because they dropped you.
From the National Bank of Texas, distinguishable by the anti-theft dye that stained the bills. He's also had maps of California, Arizona, and New Mexico with certain areas highlighted. Israel Keys was subsequently arrested at the scene and indicted in a federal holding facility located
Let me try to get the capacitor. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
with an unsettling level of
Oh.
even offering up terms to the authorities confessions of his various other crimes. It turned out that unbeknownst to law enforcement, Samantha Koenig was not Keys' first victim. He offered to divulge the information regarding the crimes he had committed, and even agreed that he would plead guilty to any and all charges that were brought against him. But Keys laid out that he'd only agree to do so as long as his trial lasted less than a year, and that he was sentenced to execution at the end of it. Naturally, police don't, or certainly shouldn't, be able to influence the outcome of the judicial process, so promising a specific outcome in Keys' trial was a little far out of the police's jurisdiction. Still, federal investigators eventually struck a deal with Israel Keys to learn about where the bodies of his other potential prior victims were hidden. Keys willingly agreed to reveal all, but there was one other important caveat to his doing so. He didn't want the public or the media to know any of the details about his crimes, because Keys didn't want his daughter to learn about what he had done to Samantha. On the 2nd of April 2012, 2 months and a day after she had been kidnapped at work, Samantha Koenig's remains were recovered from Matanuska Lake. What Keys had done to her ultimately led to him being discovered and resulted in his eventual downfall, with some federal agents even being convinced that had Keys not kidnapped and murdered Samantha, he might never have been caught at all. As the information he later revealed to authorities would confirm, Israel Keys' criminal exploits had been going on much longer than anyone realized. His vile actions were more akin to the villain of a horror movie than an actual human being. The FBI realized they weren't dealing with an opportunistic murderer, but a cold, calculating, highly methodical, and downright terrifying serial killer. So who exactly was Israel Keys? How had a man guilty of so much violence and murder been able to avoid being found? Where does a monster like that even come from? Well, this specific monster was born in Richmond, Utah in 1978. The Keys family home, the second child of 9 siblings, certainly got crowded after his parents, John Jeffrey Keys and Heidi Hackinson, had him. Keys was raised Mormon, although he would often attend a Christian church that espoused white supremacist beliefs. As if being exposed to a hateful ideology at such a young age wasn't enough to turn Keys into a monster, he seemed to adopt a fixation with weapons in his early adolescence. From the age of 14, he would walk around everywhere with a .38 caliber revolver that his grandfather gave him. As a child, Keys outfitted the weapon with his very own homemade silencer and began killing pet animals in true child destined to be a serial killer fashion. His propensity for burglary would also begin around this time when he and a friend would break into local houses and steal valuables. By 1995,
there's one team coming with us. Yep, they're both gonna go behind us.
It was there that he announced to his parents he was an atheist, leading to him being kicked out of the home of his highly religious family. Around this time in his life, sometime between 96 and 1998. A hiking group had been making their way along the Deschutes River near Mountain, Oregon, when they noticed
I hit him, but I couldn't get him.
But as it turned out, Israel Keys had found her first. Keys abducted the girl from the other hikers and then later he released her, although he had intended to
Don't drag me, you weird monkey.
It seems he wasn't yet adding kidnapping and killing to his already deplorable modus operandi, although he would later be quoted as saying, "I wasn't violent enough. I made up my mind I was never going to let that happen again." In 1998, Keys enlisted in the U.S. Army after relocating to New Jersey and would serve as a specialist within Alpha Company's 1st Battalion, 5th Infantry.
Lifeline, Henry! Lifeline!
With Texas and near Tacoma,
Bro,
Washington.
I'm fucking being chased, you dumb shit.
I'm quoting someone else, but I'm just kidding.
Manning a 60mm mortar between December 1998 and July 2001. In May 2001, Keys encountered legal trouble when he was charged with driving under the influence in Thurston County, Washington.
Hey, yeah, just run away. Just run.
Authorities discovered that his
I was
had already been suspended.
Have you heard of Skiv or whatever his name is?
For driving with a suspended license.
No.
Though less severe than his other offenses, these infractions led to his dishonorable discharge from the U.S. Army later that year. While discharge from the armed forces would be devastating,
Somebody named
to some,
Skim?
Keys had offered him a chance to pursue his
Yeah,
true
he's like
passion.
this
His
pro
new
Apex
lease on
player.
life
There's like a
was largely
famous
focused on ending other
clip of
people's
him where
lives.
like
Upon his arrest,
Lifeline's
he
just
confessed
standing
to the
around and he's
FBI
down. He's like,
that shortly after his military discharge, he took the lives of his first murder victims, a couple whose identity still remains unverified. In 2000, Keys became involved with a woman living on the Washington Makah Reservation, and their daughter was born a year later. By the following year, 2002, Keys had separated from the still unnamed woman and took his daughter away to live with him. Then, as of 2006, he began taking a number of travels away, visiting parts of California, Washington, and New England, never specifying the reason as to why. When he made his confession to law enforcement in 2012, Keys was confirmed to have committed a number of burglaries taking place in between 20 to 30 different homes, as well as conducting robberies at several other banks. The time he robbed the National Bank of Texas certainly wasn't a one and done. One of the most notable of those took place in 2009, when Keys decided that in order to finance his crimes, the quickest way to secure some funds was to rob a bank, as one does. He had allegedly abducted and killed a man in New York not long before. Then on April 10th, 2009, Keys made
It's Gala Richard 69.
He was said to have been
Hi.
wearing a jacket.
It's Gala Richard 69. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm not gonna join your Discord.
Accessories, a 40 caliber semi-automatic handgun, and a 22 caliber Ruger Charger pistol as a spare. Heading inside with his weapons at the ready, he successfully made out.
I hurt one bad, but that's all I could do.
The stolen money in the toolbox, he then buried it in the Woodside area of Essex, Vermont, along with the
Hey!
Smith & Wesson and Ruger Charger, along with homemade silencers, ligatures, ammunition for both guns, and some garbage bags. 4 days later, he flew back home and made several repeat travels across America over the next 2 years. In 2011, he flew to Indiana, then drove to New York, and later back to Vermont. Recovering his hidden toolbox, he prepared to target and murder another victim as a prelude to another bank robbing spree, with maybe some arson thrown in as an added treat. Prowling around suburban neighborhoods late on the 8th of July 2011, Keys eventually set his sights on Bill and Lorraine Courier. Having observed which room of the house the couple were asleep in, Keyes cut their phone lines and broke inside. He then enacted what he would later call a blitz attack on the couriers, ambushing them as
Terra_XD.
they slept, tying
Hey,
them up
sorry
and
to
then
bother.
driving
Are
them
you
out to
interested
an
in a
abandoned farmhouse
logo/banner?
that he'd
Nope.
previously found in the area.
Thank you, though.
After
Have a
shooting
good
the
day.
courier with a .22 caliber Ruger,
I
Keyes
wish you
forced
good luck
himself
with
on
your
the lane
Discord and your
before
artwork.
strangling her.
Try
Neither of
Fiverr.
their bodies were
You'll
ever
usually
found.
find people
Where
that are
Keyes
looking
was
for you
different
rather
from
than you
many other
looking for
serial
them.
killers was exactly how he went about conducting his crimes. Rather than attacking victims spontaneously, he instead meticulously
Use a
planned out
better
each of
digital
his
marketing
spending
technique like
ample time
SEO.
and taking extreme caution to avoid detection. And it seemed to work for almost his entire killing career, since the police and the FBI didn't make any headway in even discovering his crimes.
You will not make a
until he
return on your
kidnapped and
investment
killed
by
Samantha
just
Koenig
trolling
in 2012.
along,
What
trying to
also
send
made him far more
messages to
difficult to track
chat
down than
people.
other serial killers was that there was little linking Keyes' various victims, even the ones that authorities had actually found. Statistically, murders are typically carried out by somebody that the victim is considerably familiar with, or a person who is at least known to the deceased. But when it came to Keyes, he had no prior connection whatsoever with any of his victims. The idea of a total stranger just deciding, apropos of nothing, that they're going to end your life because you just happened to cross their path is genuinely the stuff of paranoid nightmares. Keyes would lie in wait and search for victims in parks, cemeteries, campgrounds, or other similarly isolated areas away from the prying eyes of potential witnesses or surveillance cameras.
How is that shit so delayed on stream?
When describing his reasoning to police, he explained that there weren't as many people to choose from in areas like these. He confessed to law enforcement that the lack of anyone else around to see what he was doing was what drew him to the places and the people he targeted. There's also no witnesses, really. There's no one else around. He never went after victims that fit a specific profile, targeting men and women. Although when interviewed by police in 2012, he claimed that he considered children and their parents to be off limits. How altruistic of him. Despite these claims, the FBI still suspected Keyes had been involved with the killing of several teenagers and children. In addition, the fact that Keyes moved around a lot, constantly traveling away to enact his brutal acts, made it initially hard to link his crimes to each other. If a death occurs in Vermont and another takes place in Washington, it might be considered by police to be a bit of a leap to assume the same person did them, let alone entertain the idea that they were the work of a notorious serial killer. State to state, unless making requests for relevant information, police departments might not even be aware of the crimes committed elsewhere in the country. Keyes would always enact his killings far away from wherever he currently called home, and would never murder someone in the same area twice, making it even harder to connect what must have looked like several separate deaths, especially when he killed with no apparent motive or discernible pattern. Months of preparation and planning went into his attacks. During his various trips to different states, he would only pay in normally stolen cash and kept his cell phone switched off at all times. Once Keyes had selected a victim at random, he would bury a, quote, murder kit somewhere in the area where his target was, just like he did before killing the couriers. Some of these kits have been recovered in parts of Alaska and New York, but Keyes also confessed that he had stashed others across Washington, Wyoming, Texas, and Arizona. Also, according to his confessions, he rarely used firearms, relying on them to carry out a killing only when he had to. Keyes admitted to deriving a lot of pleasure from watching his victims lose consciousness in a struggle, preferring instead to strangle them to death. When the police questioned him as he confessed to his crimes, Keyes revealed one of the core details that made the FBI so afraid of him. He'd studied the crimes of other serial killers. According to Keyes, in his youth, he had read Mindhunter inside the FBI's elite serial crime unit, a book that features profiles of various serial killers from a former FBI agent, and since then had developed an affinity for his fellow killers. In one interview, investigators mentioned Robert Hansen, another serial killer who happened to have also been active in Anchorage, Alaska, between 1972 and 1983, otherwise known as the Butcher Baker. Hearing mention of Hansen, Keyes enthusiastically told authorities, "Yeah, I know all about him. I probably know every single serial killer that's ever been written about. It's kind of a hobby of mine." In particular, it was said that he deeply admired Ted Bundy, even claiming that he saw himself in him and shared many similarities with the notorious murderer. While it was true that Keyes and Bundy were both methodical and operated in multiple U.S. states, they clearly differed in how they chose their victims and how they operated. Even though part of the reason Keyes didn't want his name given to the media was to avoid being labeled as a copycat of a serial killer role model, he would even go so far as to try to imitate Bundy's escape from court later in 2012 but was immediately seized by guards. Keys didn't hold all his fellow serial killers in such high regard, though. He said of
They jumped off roof. They jumped off
known as BTK that he was a wimp for showing remorse for his killings. He's expressed the most admiration for other serial killers, like he very nearly was.
Why did you guys have us jump into a team? What the fuck kind of sense was that? What the fuck, bro? Can't even, I wasn't even prepared for that. They said they jumped off.
He said they jumped off the roof. Immense amount of enjoyment out of it. Much like an addict gets an immense amount of enjoyment out of drugs. In a way,
It's Gallery Shark 69. How's your stream going?
It's going okay, Kyler Richards.
It wouldn't be until August 2013,
It could be
over
going
a year
better.
after he had killed Samantha Koenig, that
I got a lot of
authorities
dumbass
released
teammates
information
right
about
now.
Israel Keys to the public. They announced that he was suspected to have a grand total
Did
of
my
11
phone just
slain
turn off?
victims, each having been killed between 2001 and 2012. There was also speculation that he
Holy
claimed the
shit,
lives of
the
even
phone
more
went
people,
dead?
possibly up in Canada, where Keys had often targeted prostitutes as well,
Well,
as
that's
potential
weird.
killings he'd committed in other countries. However, these were either too far out of federal jurisdiction or happened too long ago for the FBI to be able to fully substantiate them. Israel Keys was said to have a body count of
Which
at
means
least
that
11
thing's
innocent
stuck at
people,
57.
although he confessed to as many as 20.
And my
Still,
pulse
only
thing
3
is
of his
gonna be
victims have
offline,
ever
isn't
been
it?
confirmed and formally identified, those being the couriers, Bill and Lorraine, and Samantha Koenig. There exists an entire list of speculated Keys additional victims too, including multiple teenage girls from Colville found dead in 1997, the Lewis County Jane Doe found in 2011 in Morton, and a body that was ruled as an accidental drowning in a lake in Nia Bay. And those are just the possible victims from Washington. When information about him was released to the public, Keys became uncooperative with investigators and threatened to stop speaking with the FBI entirely. During a routine court hearing in 2012, he even became violent, which was when he was able to escape confinement and attempted to attack spectators in the courtroom. Following this, security measures were increased. Keys had an escort of 2 officers every time he left his cell, full restraints, and daily strip searches since there were no restrictions on what items he could have in his possession, such as pencils and, crucially, razors. Yet despite these measures, he was still able to sneak a razor blade on his person, which was believed to have been issued to him by mistake, since he was only authorized to shave with an electric razor. On December 2nd, 2012, Keys wrote a 2-page note before using a combination of the razor and hanging to end his own life. While he was never formally sentenced for his numerous crimes, Israel Keys at least faced some kind of justice, no longer able to harm anybody else. For more terrifying stories involving the FBI, check out The Insane History of How the FBI Caught
It's
the
Gallery
Eyeball
Shard
Killer,
69.
or watch Most Wanted
That's good,
FBI
man.
Criminals 2024 edition.
Google's just dropped the latest Android 15 public beta. I've loaded it up on a Pixel 8 Pro and uncovered some of the best new features to share with you. Hi, I'm
Seems
Lexi.
like
Welcome
my
to a daily dose of all things
chat is
mobile.
coming out
Make sure to
real
subscribe for
slow
lots
right
more.
now.
Let's dive in. The beta is
Oh,
now
I'll be the
available on
Jumpmaster.
more than just Google Pixels. Nothing, Lenovo, Honor, Oppo, and OnePlus phones can try it out too, just to name a few.
I
Now,
do
as
want to plug
always,
this
proceed
phone
with caution
into
if you are
quick
using a beta
charge.
product and proceed at your own risk, so do your backups, etc., etc. But you know all this already, right? One thing I will say right off the bat is there aren't any huge design changes here in Android 15, so don't expect an entirely new look. And overall, it's pretty small updates that bring some features we've already seen on other Android devices to Android proper. Private Space makes a special locked-off area for apps of your choice that you can only access with authentication. So go to Settings, Security and Privacy, and then Private Space, and re-enter your PIN or fingerprint.
He's under you.
Walk you through the process of setting up the space and tie it to your Google account if you want to. And then you'll see down here on the screen it says that it has its own Play Store, so you'll be able to install apps easily. That's pretty interesting. Okay, let's set it up. It's going to take a few moments here to go through the steps and bring us to the Google account page. Notice that you can skip this step if you want. You can tap Got It and then sign in with your Google account. You'll also be able to choose the existing screen lock you have to set up this private space, or make a new one, such as another pattern or another PIN. Now it's set up, you can add any apps you want to this private space. And you'll see there's a section at the bottom of the app drawer where you can unlock it and then see all those apps you've added in. Also, all of the apps you put in that private space are going to be hidden from multitasking, settings, and notifications when your private space is locked. Now, this does look similar to what we've seen from other implementations of Android, such as Samsung's secure folder in One UI, but it's now coming to all Android phones. Android 15 now lets you choose what app you show when you go to screen record. When you swipe down and choose screen record from your quick settings, there's a drop-down menu, so you can choose to have the entire screen or just one app. So you'll choose single app, start recording, and then choose which app from one that's already opened, or you can launch a new one. Now, astute observers will notice that this is already active on Pixel phones running the latest Android 14 build, but it will now come to all devices running Android 15, which is nice. The volume panel gets a paint job in Android 15. Let me show you with a side-by-side Android 14 on the left and Android 15 on the right. So bring up media playback in your headphones or on the device itself, adjust the volume, and then go into the expanded settings, and you'll see that the sliders look pretty different between Android versions.
I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite game. Maybe Halo, Halo 3.
Big chunky ones on the new 15 beta.
I don't really know.
Now lets you set whatever digital wallet you want.
Never really chosen a favorite game.
Default apps and wallet.
Unless you
and
consider
no longer have to
hockey.
be tied into Google Wallet if you don't want to on Android 14. You'll see the side-by-side here. There's no wallet option in the same settings menu. Something else new for apps is app
I
pairs.
rotate through
now,
games.
This is only for foldables and
I love
tablets,
all
but it
sorts
should
of
make things
games,
easier
though.
for multitasking on a big screen, and you'll also be able to pin the taskbar. There's now a toggle to turn keyboard
My
vibrations
fucking team
on
at.
and
Where's
off.
you? Where did you guys go?
At least on the Pixel on Android 14, this is turned on. So now on Android 15,
Dude, I'm
you
gonna
can
have to
go
go
to
fly
settings,
to them, aren't
sound
I?
and vibration,
Go fly to them.
vibration and haptics, scroll down to keyboard vibration and turn it off. Predictive back will now show you a little bit of a preview of what screen you are going back to when you hold the gesture. So let's see what that looks like if I have something that I've clicked on, say, from an email.
What's your favorite game?
Another app to open. If I want to go back, I'll hold, and it pops up with a little preview, so I know exactly where that.
I'm pretty sure this thing's on a
is gonna
super
take
long delay for some reason.
Some other behind-the-scene updates that I can't show you, but are part of Android 15, include picture and
Oh
picture
yeah, if I'm
updates,
just
which
dropping
should
in
give you
now, that
smoother
thing's on a
transitions,
super long
and
It's
delay.
Hillary
changes to
Shard
prevent malicious
69.
apps from operating behind
Oh, that's
the scenes.
nice, man.
And of course, all these features are subject to change because this is just a beta. So I am expecting more things to roll out as we get closer to the final implementation of Android 15 sometime in the fall. And if you've
Sure,
been
I
brave
get
enough to
there right
download
as
the
my
beta,
dudes are
let me know
dead.
what you think,
Or-
what else you discover, and your favorite features behind the scenes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.
The dark pierces through.
Here are 5 mistakes DIYers make when stripping electrical wires.
The
Just a
fuck
quick
is
note,
this
I am
purple
gonna say
thing?
the word stripper about 39 times in this video, so do your best to keep the giggling to a minimum. I'm talking to you, Beavis.
Replicated there. Take it from a medic.
The first mistake is rock and roll. Rock and roll will never die, but your strippers need to listen to more conservative music. Rocking back and forth as you're stripping your wire causes little notches and nicks in your wire that weaken it and increase the likelihood of the wire snapping at that weak spot. I've seen this happen multiple times. Similarly, if you need to twist or roll your wire strippers a little to help cut
It's
through the
Gallery
insulation,
Shard 69.
you'll definitely want to keep that to a minimum.
BTW, I do
I've
some
seen people
crazy art
spin their
stuff.
wire strippers in circles around the conductor to get a full clean cut.
Nope.
If you have to do that,
Not
you're
looking
either
for
using
art.
the
I
wrong
have
gauge
artists.
for wire stripping, or you need some new sharp wire strippers. Ideally, you should just be able to clamp the wire stripper down on the wire and pull the insulation off. It's not so much of a perfectly clean cut exactly to the conductor every time. It's more like you're breaking a tiny bit of the insulation as you pull it off, and that's actually ideal. The strippers won't typically cut every bit of insulation around the wire, but a good pair of strippers will cut 90 to 95% of it, so you can easily pull the mostly loose insulation right off the end. The second mistake is using dull and ineffective wire strippers. Trying to strip wires with older worn-out wire strippers like these ones that were clearly forged in Mordor just before the One Ring, kind of like trying to cut a steak with a butter knife.
It's Gallery Shard 69. So if
as
you don't mind, can I show you?
No, thank you.
over time, the blades on your wire
I cannot go to your
When that
Discord.
happens, your best bet is just to replace them.
My mom told me never go to any stranger's Discord.
Effectively useless. A basic
So I don't go to this.
So toss those hand-me-downs and get yourself a pair of newer, sharper wire strippers that can actually do their job properly. Other examples of using the wrong tools
Thank
for
you
wire
for the
stripping
offer.
include using these, this, and certainly this. Even though I was able to get that last one to actually work.
It's ScalarRechard69. This is my Discord username. It's ScalarRechards_.
I just said I'm not going to your Discord. You are muted now. Deleted. Fuck you. Don't fucking come here and do that shit.
PowerHomeowner.com. Enter your email and I'll keep you posted.
You're so insulting.
Mistake number 3 is
I wish I could actually care about it, but I've already moved on. Goodbye.
Either because you're using the solid gauge when you should be using the stranded, or vice versa, or you're just not sure what gauge the wire is. Now, to identify what gauge your wire is, wire thickness gauges are your friends, like this one, that you can pick up for under $10. That said, you can save a few bucks by just using your wire strippers as a wire thickness gauge. To do this, just squeeze them tightly together where they form perfect little circles, and then feed the bare wire through the holes to see which one fits best. I put a few tips together that will help you to more easily identify your wire gauges. Number 1,
I'm not going there.
Have their gauges printed or embossed on their sheathing, so check there first to see if that's visible. On Romex cables, it's
Okay, if you want to play Get Picked Up Again, you do that.
just right to read it. Number 2, the Romex wiring is most common here in modern U.S. homes.
Dude, if you had been there, I wouldn't have needed to be picked up. I could have had a teammate who actually fucking shot something, helped us out, done something. I'm 2 kills, 2 assists, fucking 500 damage. What did you think?
I spent some
You
time
played
digging
goddamn
into
loot
specifics
simulator
on
for
this
20
and
fucking
discovered
minutes.
that the
Good
general
job,
rule
buddy.
of
I'm proud of
Romex
you. Go shoot something.
They're focusing on me. So 10, 12,
Okay, bro, are you angry at your video games?
They do for the hot and neutral.
Yeah, as soon as I came to you, that's what happened. I got fucking taken all the damage.
They started using a color convention to help make it easy to see what gauge you have based on the color of the jacket. The color codes are on screen here, and they use white, yellow, orange, and black to help distinguish the gauge of the wires inside. Remember though that this convention didn't start until 2001, so it's entirely possible that in a home built in the early 2000s or before, these color codes might not apply. Now our 4th and final tip for identifying wire gauge is that if you're in the US and you're kind of in a pinch, you can use a nickel or a dime here. A 12 gauge wire is about the same thickness as a nickel. A 14 gauge wire is about the same thickness as a dime. Now for our 4th mistake. Stripping too much or too little of the insulation on a wire can cause issues in almost every situation. For example, if we strip too much wire for this terminal screw, we're going to end up with exposed wire sticking out of the back of the receptacle, which increases the likelihood of the ground or another wire touching it, causing a short circuit. This is unfortunately a mistake I have made personally and seen those sparks and felt the effects of this. Not very fun. On the flip side, if you remove too little insulation like this, that decreases the amount of metal-to-metal contact your wire has with the terminal, which increases resistance, potentially leading to more heat and maybe even arcing, and the electrical fire could happen inside the box. To avoid either of these situations, look for a strip gauge on the device that you're connecting your wires to, like this one, on this receptacle, or this one on these Wago
Elemental AJ01 says, 5 non-competes you have way to rat your rank, so glad you can't get.
On this topic, automatic wire strippers like these or like these can save a ton of time because not only do they work
Scrappy
with a
DP
huge range
says,
of wires automatically and with no adjustments or work on your part, but you can also set the strip gauge on these to exactly what you need. Just set the stop depth, tighten the set screw if need be, and squeeze the trigger. Easy as pie. I use these types of strippers more than anything else because despite them being a bit on the pricey side, they work so well and so quickly, and they don't ever weaken the wire, which brings us to our final mistake. My goal this year is to get 1 million subscribers, and I'm really getting close. I hope you can help me out by hitting that subscribe button below. If you don't want to keep, I'll tell you about that. Hopefully you think it's just not this video. Thanks so much. Mistake number 5 is cutting around a wire. It's not uncommon to see someone using a blade to cut around a wire or a set of wires. If you're super careful with this, it can work, but it is way risky, especially if you're using the jacket off the Romex, Ethernet, cable or other combination wires like that. When I was finishing my own basement 7 or 8 years ago and it came time to do the finish electrical, I naively decided to remove the sheathing of my Romex by using a utility knife to slice the jacket up close to the back of the box. I then pulled the loose sheathing off and patted myself on the back for a job well done. Well, what I didn't realize at the time was that I was severely weakening the wires inside by scoring them deeply with that knife. Obviously, I wasn't doing this on purpose, but I remember on one light switch in particular, when I went to wire up the switch, one of the hot black wires literally fell off and with almost no pressure on it because I had unknowingly cut right into it earlier when removing the Romex sheathing. If you want to hate your life, try stripping a 3/4 inch long wire tucked all the way into the back of a deep box, and then it's all crammed in there and you're trying to attach a wire nut to it to extend it with a pigtail. It is a mess. It doesn't go well, trust me. If only I knew about Wago lever nuts back in those days, that would have made it much simpler, but still not ideal. So learn from younger Nils's mistakes when you're stripping the sheathing from a cable like this. Use one of these options instead.
Nope, not today.
Option 1, start by carefully cutting with the grain, as it were, or in the same direction as the wires, just at the end of the sheathed cable. Then open the sheathing and peel up the cable. Then, very carefully, cut the excess sheathing with either a blade or some wire cutters, being careful not to cut into any of the surrounding conductors. Option 2, use a handy desheathing tool like this Lil Ripper Stripper. There's a slitting tooth inside of it that you can insert into the wire, and you work it up the wire to remove the sheathing. It even has a jacket cutter for getting rid of the excess jacket up inside the box, not to mention a wire stripper, winged wire nut twister, and a hole for making wire hooks. Pretty handy. My new favorite way to do this is to use a set of box jaw wire strippers like these that are meant for cutting the sheathing right up inside the box. Then, all you have to do is pull the whole thing off the jacket. It comes off in one piece without damaging any of the wires inside. Definitely my favorite way to go. Lastly, you can use some universal wire strippers like these that actually do an incredible job of pulling the sheathing off of any type of multi-wire like Romex, including thicker Romex and even delicate Ethernet cables. Now, on the topic of wire strippers, you might be surprised at how many people are unfamiliar with the 8 features built right into their wire.
Okay, Google. Set an alarm for 4:30 p.m.
I'm Nils with Learn
You
to
got
DIY.
your alarm set for 4:30 p.m.
We're going to be watching the fight.
Stephanie Ferrante, how would you go about having to cancel?
Sarah Jancy. Howdy man. Wow, astonished face. I'm impressed with your moves. That's amazing. Smiling face with heart.
You're so annoying. Get
Say you played
get
exceptionally well. Keep it up. Can
Goodbye.
I come along with my friends for your next stream?
No.
I'll love to know more about your channel, pal. Add me on Discord. My username is hand pointing right, hand pointing right, hand pointing right, Mr. Nut.
No matter the reason,
You're an
you're
asshole.
gonna have to have an interaction with the client.
That's what happens when you get too excited.
And it's difficult for people. It's difficult for us as humans, as empathetic beings, to be around someone who's pissed off
We're all inside this ring.
or whose emotions about a matter are unsettled.
There is
And
a hop up here. Hammer point.
as empathetic people,
New
we
kill leader.
want to
Eyes out
fill
for.
that space. We want to right that wrong. We want to mend that relationship.
Fire.
Client, I mean, I think one of the first things that you want to do is to know
I cracked it.
you can't adjust how they feel at the moment. Control them.
Broken enemy shield.
Give up.
Giving him the chimney.
You're gonna give them bad news, and they may yell.
Healing. Watch my
threaten
back.
you.
Give me a sec.
They may take it with equanimity. But going into a difficult conversation.
There's 2 of them down here. I thought you guys killed them.
It's important not to try and push the conversation to that outcome. That is not a useful use of your time. Adjusting the emotions of someone you're talking to is never going to be a winning strategy for life. And so you gotta prep that, like, telling them the truth.
We're inside the ring.
You gotta tear off that. I have a funny one. Years ago, we had a difficult interaction. And it was difficult enough that she was.
Watch my back.
Called the client. She said, "Hey, I'd love you to call me she hung up, and her husband was like, dude, you are really worked up about this. And she's like, I totally am. He's like, what are you afraid of about this conversation? She's like, well, I'm worried that it'll go this way and that way. He's like, well, do you want to workshop?
Out, huh?
I'll be
Throws
your
ours with the
partner.
taking.
Well, let's just
Looks
start
like a
with you
care package
dumping
is
kind of
coming
how
in.
you feel.
Big dings
She
in
was like,
that.
okay. Look, and so they started workshopping this conversation, which is a fantastic exercise, by the way. And I love my friend's partner for giving her this opening. And they sat for like 15 minutes and workshopped this conversation over many different iterations. But it began with my friend dumping on her partner as the client and being like, I can't believe you put me in this position. And she just said all the truth.
You're welcome.
Nope. What she didn't know was that she hadn't really hung up the phone, and that the client's answering machine recorded her entire workshopping of that conversation with her partner. She didn't know this until the client called her and said, hey, I've just gotten a really intense answering machine message, and I would like to talk to you about it. And it turned out amazing. The client was a lovely human who heard
Jack
everything in
Carlos.
that call and really listened
Hey,
to
what's
it, and
up?
those two had an incredible interaction about it. This is not a piece of advice about how to deal with a difficult situation like that, but I love how that one turned out. Oh man, can you imagine? Yeah. Righteous Robot. What is a professional way to say you might not hit your deadline? Oh man, that is tough news to deliver to a client.
Laser
You
sight
gotta
here.
call them right away.
Level 2.
You gotta call them the second you smell it. You can't even wait more than a few seconds. You gotta call them the moment that the thought occurs to you that you might not hit the deadline. This is because it's mission critical. If you are going to not hit the deadline, it's time to immediately offer your client some choices about the deadline. Because I'm sure there are ways in which you could hit the deadline if certain things were eliminated from the gig. So this reminds me of a story of my very early days in the commercial film industry. I'm working for Jamie Heineman on a Toys R Us commercial. 14 commercials in a single day. All of them with practical effects. Just nightmares. And also spectacular.
Level 2.
One of the gags that we had built failed utterly the moment we brought it out. And we had like 2 hours to shoot this commercial, or an hour to shoot this commercial, and the rig that had been built that was the centerpiece of this commercial like shat the bed and was completely destroyed. And Jamie, it was Jamie's job, Jamie's gig. I was working for him. And I watched him go up to the director and be like, the rig has failed totally. And the director was like, what?
Ultimate accelerant here.
If you would like to get this commercial in
Jack
Canada,
Carlos.
there are 3 options. Option
Actually,
1
I'm an
takes
artist.
hour
I
to
made
get to
crazy
this.
stuff.
Option
If you
2
don't
takes
mind,
3
can I
hours to
show
get to
my
this.
artwork?
Option 3 takes a day, and you get this tomorrow morning. Which one would you like? And they were like, oh, option 2, please. And he was like, great, and executed it. So, whenever you are bringing a problem to a client or a supervisor,
Don't mind if I do.
if you can, it is always good to come with a set of solutions they can choose from. That bounds the problem for them. That helps them see a way through. If you call them up and be like, I might not be able to make the deadline, my first question is, what? What? I hired you to do a specific thing. Shut up about not making a deadline. I need that thing by the deadline. I need you to do what you said you were going to do. And then you say, yeah, but circumstances, blah, blah, blah. There was a strike in Asia and I couldn't get the PVC pipe. Who knows what reasons you can't complete the job. The explanation is not as important as saying,
Replicator being delivered.
it's not going to happen by Tuesday.
Got a replicator
Here are
coming
the
down.
options. A, B, C, D, choose one. Yeah, that's the way to tell your client you won't be delivering by the deadline. You offer them some solutions and some alternates. And you got to be ready the moment you're doing that you may be working for a bridge that is burning. You may really enrage that client and they get really salty with you, and you still got to deliver that job, and you better. And they may never hire you again. That's the thing you accepted when you took this work. That can happen too. But there's no percentage in fighting about it. Like, if they're really salty about it, but you can still deliver that job, then deliver it. Even if it's late, then deliver it. They don't hire you again, that's fine. We all have people in our past that think poorly of us. I do too. Totally have people in my past that think very poorly of me for all sorts of different reasons. But yeah.
45 seconds until the ring closes. We've got time.
So there was this one time, oh my God, a very, very early job I was doing. I'm freelancing in theater in San Francisco. I think I found this, I can't even remember how this guy found me, but this guy was a professional party thrower. And so he threw parties like the black and white ball here in San Francisco. It wasn't those people, but it was like that kind of level. And he was doing a Christmas party and he wanted a bunch of Christmas stuff. So they wanted the opening of the party to be Dickens' A Christmas Carol, 8 feet high and 12 feet wide, a huge book. And I billed that job as a $500 bill. An 8-foot-high book, 12 feet wide, foam core and wood with paper and a Christmas Carol front sheet of the book.
Dropship here.
That is not enough money for that job. That is a $5,000 job if it's a heartbeat. It's like, that is an expensive thing. I didn't know how to build. I made 10 pieces of topiary that stood 6 feet high. The animals themselves were each about 3 feet high. On planters, I think I charged $100 a piece for them. I didn't know how to build back then. And so I'm done executing these topiaries, and I've just finished this book, and together the two have made me, I think, maybe like $1,500.
Reloading.
And
Get your birthday present. I hurt them.
I don't see a path to completing the rest that I need to complete for this party for the money he's got. And in the timeline. And so I call and I leave a message. I'm a week and a half into this job. I called and leave a message. Hey man, listen, this is done, that's done. And I want to let you know for the other stuff, there's a possibility I might not be able to get it across the line by the date. So I was calling to say, I'm still 3 weeks out from the due date, so there's time to recover. But I wanted to know that I'm not sure. His response to that was to put a stop payment on a check he had already given me that had already cleared my bank that I had already spent. Because he had given me a deposit that was half this amount. And I had spent it building these 3 things, these topiary in the book. And when I didn't think you could put a stop payment on a check that had already been cleared by the bank, that had already been spent for a week. But apparently, check law is absolutely bizarro world. And this is totally feasible. This guy canceled the check. My bank account emptied. I still had work to do for him, but he refused to take a call or return my call for 10 freaking days. I had, in that point in my life, never been that stressed. I started having trouble seeing. It turns out that's called an ocular migraine. I started meditating. That is literally the job that got me started with meditation, because I was like, I need to do some breathing exercises to deal with these monsters. And in the end, I delivered what I had to him, and he like joyfully handed me a check for that amount, and then asked me if I could still deliver the rest of the contract. And I was like, no, I can't. I haven't bid enough. I've already lost money. Oh my God, he didn't respond to my calls for 10 days. And I had just, at this moment in time, this is like 1992, I had just moved in with my girlfriend at the time, ended up being my first wife. And I borrowed $1,500 from my girlfriend to put in my bank account so I wouldn't overdraft everything else. And I remember her going, I just want to double check to make sure that this isn't going to be like a regular thing. It was this very funny way in which she was like, I'm giving this guy I just moved in with all this dough, and is you going to take all my money? Is this how this is going to go? And I was like, this is an outlier. I mean, and I was telling the truth. It was an outlier, but one of the most stressful weeks of my ever-loving life. Actually, it was like 2 full weeks. Thank you for watching that video. Are you as sick of the tosses to membership as I am? Good, because here's a brand new one that I recorded today, and it's nice and short. There are 3 tiers to tested membership, and they all offer awesome stuff. Find out about it by clicking the join link below. We'll see you there.
Super the Rabbit.
1 minute. Rings nearby.
That sums up the biggest reason for these price changes across the board since our last video in this series. And previously recommended GPUs are now becoming no-go options. But before we cover the best GPUs to buy, we need to understand the
45
changes
seconds. Rings
that have
close.
caused it. The change.
Speedrun a pokey cake? No. I should text her though. Oh, Maya called me 15 minutes ago.
Your shit's been on and you're not even
I'm not
fucking.
calling her back.
Forget it. Taking fire.
Pokey man.
Shooting.
Happy birthday! Maya in chat. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, no. Sorry, Maya. I was busy texting my bestie.
10 seconds. The ring's just ahead.
Like, Emmy, who's the one that you pay rent to every month, huh?
I told you this would happen, Connor! See, I told you! We have to gang up on Miz. We gotta take him out. This year.
Cheaters always win, like my dad used to say.
So, how's everybody doing? What'd you guys eat today? How's your breakfast? Eggs.
I think I told you, I'm allergic to almost everything that tastes good. I'm allergic to eggs, but I don't know why I brought that up.
Oh my god, last
Follow
night he
follow.
said, is eggs dairy? I was like, what? And I was like, no. I was like, well, then can you eat eggs? He's like, no, I'm also allergic to eggs. I was just wondering.
Do I have the right Monopoly again?
Way to show up like that, Connor. Seriously, in the middle of like...
Right after that David.
You guys understand Monopoly? Does everyone get this game?
I haven't played this game since I was 10.
Basically, what we're going to do first is we're going to roll the dice, and we're going to see who goes first. You want to get a 12. Watch as I get an 11.
Recharging my shields.
Okay, that was the worst rolls ever. I'm first.
Man.
That is fucking insane. It's like, watch. I rolled a dice.
Okay.
I rolled a 12, so I go again. So I just bought that property. So if you roll the game, you cannot go bankrupt, which is $0. If you go to $0, you're bankrupt.
And you get kicked out of the lobby?
Yup. Yeah,
so
so
again, you got more doubles?
yeah.
This is like when your friend invites you over to play Smash and you can wave dash.
So I'm just buying properties.
So what happens if we hit 0? Do we just leave the call and quit? $0?
So I just bought 3 different types of properties. Yeah. So I'm not gonna lie to you, that was insanely lucky rolls.
Does it usually go like that?
So do you guys play this for fun?
I literally play this every night by myself.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, this is literally the best game to play when you're a loser. This is fuck! Damn it! Shit!
Ooh, what happened? The red properties are really good. Oh.
Bro, I need to get the fucking hood for Lakari.
Property? Yes. Oh, that one's already owned.
You owe me 20.
No! Dude, you bought the whole board.
I have 3 properties, ma'am.
Oh,
$2.
All right, I got a property of Foosleys.
Wait, what? No, that's my area. Okay, I understand. Go, 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 go. Wait, it's open.
Nope.
No!
Not a good round.
You follow my lead.
I don't own anything.
Yeah, you're kind of listen, let's see who. If you can get the hood, I'm down to make a trade.
Watch your side and never quit.
I don't think anyone owns that railroad.
Oh yeah, I think this is the last one. No!
There you go, Tania.
Everyone has a railroad.
Okay, I need a 5. If I get a 5, yeah. Flip.
Ooh, why do you get a double every time? Okay, come on. Oh, come on. I'm gonna do that. Come on, please, please, something good. What's that?
Nice. Property.
Really? Finally! Wait, what? I'm over it. I quit. Hey, Mia.
Oh my god, company!
My first double. Blessed with
Wait, that's bad.
Wait, is it? Why?
She has 2
you, I
reds.
guess.
We don't want her to have 2. That means she now has she can.
Oh.
I like how you're building this narrative when you've had 2 oranges for like 4 rounds and didn't say anything.
True. We should take him down.
Ah, fuck! That's what I get.
This is classic Monopoly manipulation, by the way. That happens to me every time I play. Everyone's like, "Oh, true, we take out Niz. You're all 3 in
Why are
jail."
all the women in jail? This is fucked up.
Isn't yours? It got a lot quieter on the board all of a sudden. So you always roll doubles. It's such bullshit.
Freedom. Is that a good one? Nobody owns it? Finally? When do I start having fun? Nice,
Wait,
Mia!
dude, wait, Tamia got the last blue.
Wait, so is everything else bought? Oh, if I roll, I could get... Wait, maybe I could... Wait. Is that good? I landed on my own.
You went on the hood!
I got it! Wait, I got a Monopoly!
Oh, she was both. All hail Foosley. She won.
Hello, Connor. Would you like to do some negotiations?
What would you possibly trade for Connor?
Could I perhaps take your red and give you 2 of my railroads?
That is a terrible deal, Connor. That is an abysmal deal.
I thought the railroads were good.
No, but
They are good.
she gets the best property on the board. Red is literally the best property. She gets the best property for
No,
2
it's
railroads.
not. Orange
Yes, it
is,
is.
and he
You're
has
railroading
red,
us.
guys.
That's the worst property. You're an idiot if you take that, Connor. Do not take
Sounds
it.
like I get 2 for 1. Can you give me the rabbit? I don't give a fuck about the railroad.
I don't know how, but you can have him.
Why do I invite not serious people to play fucking such a serious game? No shot you're gonna do this deal, Connor. It is literally gonna make her win the game. It is the best property on the board, and she gets 2. You will get nothing out of this. You will
Just remember,
you will basically
Connor,
giving yourself the
Connor,
loss.
Yeah.
Just remember this conversation, how he's trying to say this when he asks you for your orange the same way as I'm
Here's what
asking
you do,
for your
Connor.
red. Except he has nothing to give you in return, like I do with
No,
any
I do.
railroads.
I absolutely do. Connor, here's what you do. Ready? You want to make a good play so we all have monopolies? You ask her for her pink as well. Then she has the reds. Then you give me. Then you and I can negotiate for other monopolies.
Whoa! Then you give me his.
No, well, there's negotiation because Connor's literally gonna have nothing after this. There's a
That's
wait.
not true. What?
If you, Connor, if you get if you get the pink from her, great. Now you have the pink and I have a pink and Tammy has a pink and she has a yellow and I have a light blue and we can switch around this stuff and make
Yeah,
it work.
it is better for him if you have a pink, because he doesn't want to deal with me, because he knows I won't give it to him.
But so if I get the
This
2
is better
railroads,
for
do I
me
have all
and
the
you,
railroads?
Connor.
You won't have all the railroads.
Tammy
Tamia has one.
railroad as
Which
well,
Connor,
but
she has a
I
pink.
have 2 of them. I have half of them.
Connor, if you give this up,
I've done pretty well so far just pressing enter the whole game, so I'm just gonna do that.
Let's go, Connor.
how about a fair deal? Give me your orange and I'll give you 50 bucks.
I told you this would happen, Connor. See, I told you.
50 bucks?
Yeah, I'll give you 50 bucks for the orange.
Are you
Fuck it.
giving him
Is that what you want,
real-life
Connor?
money?
50 bucks for the fucking orange. And you know what? I'll comb your hair next time I see you.
I don't need you to do that.
Well, then fuck. Then I'll take that out because that was a pretty serious part of the deal. So here's my offer. Okay, I will give me the orange, and I will give you in return a yellow, a green.
This doesn't seem like a very good value.
I told you, Connor. I told you he has nothing to give you in return. Like I did.
No, I literally do. That's the most insane thing you're saying.
I think both of you really overestimate my understanding of this game. I'm pressing enter.
Wait, he took one off, Connor. Connor.
Wait,
took one
yeah,
off.
wait, you took one away
Hold
from the
up.
deal.
No, it's Ubisoft lagging. Chad, is this? Let me talk to my accountants first. Chad, is this a good deal? Wait, I clicked accept. No, I actually don't know if that was a good deal. Like that was pretty fair, I think.
No, it was a good deal. He's just saying that, Connor, so you don't feel scammed.
It's alright.
No, I'm not kidding. Like, Chad,
makes my friends happy.
like Emmy, knock this shit off. Who's the one that you pay rent to every fucking month, huh? Me, the landlord. Why? Because I'm a manipulative piece of fuck.
Probably Senek.
And how did you end up in a situation where you pay me $30,000 a month? Minus 29k, even though the rent's 1k.
I mean, there was no reason to bring that into fucking play, by the way. That was ridiculous. Way to bring outside fucking problems to my.
You started it. You started
Definitely were the one.
You
that
can't
raised
see,
that
but I'm
message.
sticking my tongue out at you. Oh, look, it's my turn. Well, since it's my turn and I landed on her dog shit 1, and Emaru is a piece of shit, what I'm gonna do is something disgusting. Viewer discretion is advised.
What are you doing? I don't understand.
You'll see.
He's maxing out everything he can.
Wait, so how much is that gonna cost us?
$950.
Almost 1,000.
If Emmy hits
don't
this,
have that.
she's done. I'm back at 13. Fuck, I did not want to more that. Wait, I don't have enough money to pay this.
Shit, this is bad. Nobody help him. He's too broke to pay.
I'm an idiot!
Wait, oh my god!
Please don't make me land on Connor Eats Pants. Fuck!
Say, yo, look, That's the railroad. That
The
worked.
railroad. It was a good trade.
There you go.
No matter. She's done. It's over. Watch as she lands on my property. Roll a 6, an 8, or a 9, Foozly, and you're bankrupt. It's over.
6, 8, or 9?
6, 8, or 9. Roll the dice. Let's fucking go!
Oh, wait, I lose? That's insane!
Oh, but you only need they won't give your light bulb. This is rigged. Yeah, kind of good. Online
Why do people play this when they play like Halo?
No! I landed on the horn!
What happened?
No!
Let's go!
Hey, I'll take it. It's a slow killer. Wait, what's going on?
Uh-oh.
Wait, you can mortgage everything? No, he's
Happening.
Wait, what are you?
I'm putting one house. Only one.
What?
Wait, I don't know what's going on.
Roll a 2 or a 3.
Nice.
That's okay, you're going in fast.
Big.
Oh, nice. Wait. Am I going into the red? Uh-huh. Oh, that's half the money I just made.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been
Leslie,
landing on
let
the
me
red.
give you everything I have.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
No, that would be wrong.
No, that's VM. You can't do that in the game.
I can't?
No. You have to
Like
fight for it.
always.
Yeah, you can.
No, you literally
Still
can't.
won't,
That's
and I'll
cheating.
still win.
That is what everyone does, and you get forward. Do not do
Well,
that.
you're cheating, and no one's like, you're still okay with that.
Cheaters always win. With my dad.
Alright, this could be it.
This is it. This is it. 5, 7, 8. 5, 7, 8.
No way. What is it?
Yeah!
My God. Uh-oh. This is rigged.
Bro!
It might just be done.
No, you're fine.
Do I have to sell all my houses?
Yeah, you do.
Guys, if I die here, that means he gets all of my properties. So I therefore am asking for a community donation of $34, please, from somebody.
Sold. I have $10 though.
Classic
Yeah.
streamers begging for money.
We have to gang up
Big.
on Miz. We gotta take him out.
What can we do, though?
Why don't I give you the blue and then you give me the green?
Oh, now you negotiate it.
Is that better? I genuinely don't know. I just figure I already have 2 green.
I read you guys like a book. Every roll a 2 or a 3.
Well, guys, You are cursing it's been her. fun.
No!
I
like
should have given my reds to someone else, but it's too late. Unless Connor gives me another small donation of $1,000.
$1,000?
No.
I mean, I could just give you 1,000. You give me all the reds.
You know what? I feel like that's fair.
If
I
you
think
want to
that's fair.
look,
I
if,
mean,
okay,
I'm
it's a
mad
4v1.
anyway.
It's a 4v1. It's not a 1v20. I'm down for this. If you guys want to try this,
I'll
let's
have
do it.
my one pink at least.
I thought I could trust you guys to not attack me.
Isn't there a faster way to do this?
Hold it down.
It's not.
Maybe the game knows you're doing big BM and being a bad friend.
How's that BM?
You're literally giving him properties when you're supposed to be giving it to me right now.
Huh? I'm not giving them to him. He's paying for my life.
Emmy, I'd like to make a trade.
For what?
Exactly.
What?
Talking so much shit about me when you had your reds. Remember that? Remember when you were saying, oh, blah, 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 blah. I forgot what you said. Damn it. Now we're cool, right? Huh?
You are the worst winner ever.
Emmy, roll a 10. Roll a 10. Roll a 10.
What is it?
No! Well, guys, it's been fun. I somehow lived for an extra, 8 rounds. I feel like he's been cursing really. I think it's really over this time.
Is it over?
I mean, what am I gonna do?
Well, at least you acquire nothing.
That's
from
one
it.
down,
You acquire
3 to go.
nothing. Okay, Connor, you gotta do it. You gotta take us home.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Wait,
but
what
I'll
are you
try.
doing? You're giving Connor the properties. That's not how this game works. It's over, Foozly.
Yeah, but
Why is this thing taking so? Oh, it's because I had a fucking
What is this shit? That's not how it works.
operating
You
system
can't just give him the properties. Like, here you go, sweetie.
Genius.
This
Well
is
played.
pure cheating. Like, this has been cheating, and this is a 1v4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're being a sore winner about it. I don't want to lose to
Wait,
you.
I didn't hear what
I'd
you
rather lose to
I did not
Connor.
hear. I did not hear what you just said. What did you say? I am?
No way. This is a twin flames thing.
When it rains, we immediately round everybody up to come outside. Always. We have rarely missed a rainstorm. An opportunity to go outside and get wet. Today, being feathers in the wind, it's funny because I was doing my own thing and I got the vibe to come all the way to what we call the west side in California, to the ocean, like Santa Monica. She comes out of the shower and goes, "We're going to Temescal Canyon," which is right up the road from where I was thinking. So we were on the same page. And her decisions now, just completely, what we call connected to the live stream, are just on point, you know what I mean? And this is what we aspire in life, see
Waylanty.
live stream. And
Hi
in a
bro.
relationship where it wasn't
Waylanty.
always
and utterly your
Can you follow back?
the same body now, on the
No.
same page, headed in the same direction.
Bathes
Focusing on life
in
and
that
Mother
bath.
Nature, source,
Feeling
love, and
blessed.
creating.
Never stress.
Truly,
Got that sunshine.
What is this?
Ooh, I
real
found
quick. So we were right here one time, and it's little
Don't act like
tiny
you
squirrel
listen to Chris
worried and wandered in,
No, I
disappeared
don't.
in space, one of the places, big part of our,
Yeah.
just a slight.
What
What?
is
I didn't click
this?
that.
Damn, bro.
Nature's blind.
Why would you fight your
So
soul?
Marty,
Introducing your champion.
so that's funny. So Marty,
I don't know what that is, but I know.
Popular dating app Bumble got stung after their
Stung!
billboard campaign
99%.
rubbed people the wrong way.
Bro, you
Here are a
lucky
few
soul.
examples of some of the billboards that they put up around Los Angeles. You know full well avowed celibacy is not the answer. Introducing the new
I got 2
Bumble.
knocks, bro.
Thou shalt not give up on dating and become a nun.
Wanna finish?
A video ad for the campaign was also released, however, has since
Sorry,
been
guys.
scrubbed from the internet. In it, a woman joins an all-female religious group, but later becomes infatuated by a shirtless man trimming the hedges, one of my great acting debuts. That night, another woman gives her a phone with Bumble loading. The first woman then leaves the group, and the text reads, "We've changed so you don't have to." Critics of the new campaign have been vocal online, claiming that it's shaming for people choosing not to have sex or use dating apps. Or saying the company is suggesting celibacy isn't a valid personal choice, minimizing the reason women are celibate. According to the New York Times, resisting sex for reasons personal, political, or somewhere in between may feel as if it has been gaining steam recently, but it's not a new concept. More recently, the trend of choosing to abstain from sex, decentering men, or going void sober has made inroads with women. Perhaps it's one way women are searching for peace within themselves after one too many situationships, ghostings, and other romantic hardships. So clearly many women weren't happy with this campaign. Like Jordan Emanuel, who tweeted, shocked by the Bumble ad saying a vow for celibacy is not the answer. In a world fighting for respect and autonomy over our bodies, it's appalling to see a dating platform undermine women's choices. Wasn't this app supposed to empower women to date on their terms? Clary Ferry said, "I was about to join and give you my money until I saw your celibacy advert. I won't be supporting a company that encourages grape culture. Also, you can date whilst being celibate, so it makes no sense anyway. You're enforcing male entitlement to our bodies." I would disagree because it's just a funny campaign if it was for a regular dating app, but for the dating app that is supposed to be women first, women make the move, women set the terms even more than most dating apps, which are more even-handed. That's a fair point, I think, to some degree. The ad campaign was the latest effort in the company's unpopular rebrand. Last month, it rolled out a new visual identity and debuted new features, including opening moves, which allows men to make the first move on an app that had long placed the ball in female users' court. And they were already in the doghouse, so this ad campaign was really supposed to help them. Bumble's shares have dropped 45% since July of last year. Match Group and Bumble, whose market share make up nearly the entire industry, have lost more than $40 billion since 2021. Due to the backlash the company was receiving, the company acknowledged the criticisms in a lengthy apology post on Instagram. To our beloved Bumble community, We made a mistake. Our ads referencing celibacy were an attempt to lean into a community frustrated by modern dating, and instead of bringing joy and humor, we unintentionally did the opposite. Some of the perspectives we heard were from those who shared that celibacy is the only answer when reproductive rights are continuously restricted, from others for whom celibacy is a choice, one that we respect, and from the asexual community for whom celibacy can have a particular meaning and importance, which should not be diminished. We're also aware that for many, celibacy may be brought on by harm or trauma. We're removing these ads from our global marketing campaign. Bumble will be making a donation to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, among other organizations, as part of our ongoing efforts to support the work being done around the world to support women, marginalized communities, and those impacted by abuse. They also stated they will be offering their partners their billboard spaces to display an ad of their choice for the duration of their reserved billboard time.
Yeah.
Cenk.
I think it's totally crazy. So we're gonna ask you guys, we're on the left. These are people on the left. I normally get this kind of criticism from the right when you're saying that celibacy is not the right way to go. Now you're getting it from the left, which is super trippy to me. Guys, here's my point to you. It's a dating app. It's a dating app. So they want you to date. I don't think it's at all complicated. I think this whole thing about the asexual and the male entitlement, honestly, I think it's total nonsense. And so I know some people are going to get upset about that. So we'll talk it out. I'll explain what I mean. Meanwhile, whenever we give you a URL, it's always in the description box. In this case, tyt.com/polls / Bumble, but you can just go to polls. Should Bumble have apologized for their ad campaign? I'm going to vigorously vote no. So here's what I mean, guys, and I'm curious what you both think. Look, if you want to say that male entitlement is wrong, well, I agree with you 100%. They're not entitled to your body. They're not entitled to any of that. If you want to say, hey, you're asexual and that's your best life, have at it, Hoss. I believe in freedom. I believe that the beauty of America is that you can live any life you want, have any sexual, partners, style, lifestyle, etc. I'm 100% for it. But it's a dating app, and they want you to date. So it's like we're taking it so seriously, this little joke about celibacy, and now all of a sudden they were politically incorrect because they forgot to take into account asexual people or on a boy diet or whatever it is.
I mean, just to be technically accurate here.
Said a boy diet.
To be technically accurate, you can date without having sex. Just look at my dating life, and that's not by choice a lot of the time. But I think really the criticism should have just been that this might be putting their app in a certain mind frame. This is for a hookup app would be a great campaign. This is great for Tinder. But if you don't want your app to be known as just sex, you can date without sex. And so that's why I think some people are upset, because that was one of the apps that they could go to for like a different kind of dating environment. But
and Jackson, you're right. It was boy sober.
Boy sober.
Boy sober.
Yeah, boy sober. No, that's hilarious. I've never heard that before. That's funny. But I think realistically, most people who use Bumble probably had no clue that this even happened. And if they did, they probably are they still swiping. You know what I'm saying? I can see, it being an app that's more it's an app that's brand is like, this is so women can feel more comfortable and make the first move so that you can have a bit more control. And interestingly too, like you showed a little bit of the market share and how it's been going down, because really these apps are just like trying to get your money out in every way that they can. But I think in a week, whoever was really mad about it probably will be thinking about the bill that they're behind on or something.
Yeah, and look, what they're campaigning against is not the asexual community. I'm sure they were shocked when they got that reaction. They're like, oh, geez, Lord mercy, I didn't expect that, right? What they're campaigning against is the idea, the right-wing idea, the religious fundamentalist idea that we all grew up with, that you have to be celibate. And that if you're not celibate, that you're somehow a bad person. They're not telling you you must have sex. They're not the government. They're not forcing you into anything. They're just doing a cheeky little ad for a dating app. And they didn't see this howitzer coming in from the left side and knocking them out. So I think that critique is, I think it's crazy. Look, again, you want to live any lifestyle you want, I'm here for it. I'll fight to the death to make sure that you get any lifestyle you want. I think that's the whole point of the country, but they weren't trying to force you to have sex. They were just making a joke about and celibacy and fighting back against the idea that you must do X, Y, or Z, including being celibate. And on that, I agree with them 100% growing up. You know, they say, oh, you got to be celibate. You can't have sex before marriage. I was like, bro, that's your decision, not my decision. So, like, you tell me, oh, no, I got married at 38. No, you should have been celibate.
Dag0D says,
okay,
report
I mean,
him.
so.
Dag0D says, don't come bassy.
Still just devil's advocate on it because, like, I enjoy a good, sexy
that
ad.
mad
I don't
about
have any
a
issue
game.
with that. But I think it was very inartfully done just in the way that it says if you, it kind of says, if you want to date, you're not going to be celibate. It kind of says, like, sex is expected with dating. And that doesn't need to be the case. It is maybe usually the case.
Yeah, I hear you. But there's also like a different way to critique too. And so it's one thing to say, hey, you know what? You might want to think about that one because to be fair, a lot of people date and are not necessarily going to have sex. Of course, yeah, Ben, you're right. Most of my dating life, right? That is it. And anyone who expects sex is. That's the wrong direction, right? So it's up to two individuals, et cetera, et cetera.
As was stated by an ex-user, B. Clins, can we just let bad ads be bad ads? Now Bumble's apologizing and taking down their ads. They're not controversial, they're just bad.
I think it was definitely maybe a little bit of tastelessness to it, but ultimately they didn't have like malice. It wasn't their intent. Like everyone you go out with, you got to sleep with them that night. Because even if you are, having sex, it's even like, like you're not going to sleep with everyone that you talk to. Or
Speak for yourself, Jackson. Speak for yourself.
I mean, like it might be like 5 out of 10, like 3 out of 10.
That's fair.
Well,
it'd be amazing would be if Tinder just took the exact ad campaign and put it up on the same billboard. They're like, if you don't want to be celibate, Tinder, because that really is what that app is for.
Yeah. Or Grindr.
Or Grindr, absolutely.
That's another way to go. Look, I get it. You're getting pushback from your customers. You respond to your customers. Look, there's no national tragedy here, but I think Jackson nailed it. Like the reaction. I think what's was off-putting to me. The reactions acted like they had malice, when I don't think they had malice at all. Right. Okay, you want to tweak, you want to critique a little bit, but full well knowing they didn't have malice, no problem, right? But it feels like some of the critique is implying that they had a malice that I would be shocked if they had.
Yeah. And if people want to date without any expectation of sex, my DMs are open.
Now, do we have to apologize for that?
I hope
it's
not.
a joke. It's a joke.
In the bonus episode, we good.
That's right. That's right.
All right. We good.
Still goes on YouTube, though.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat, emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all you got to do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.
There are no squads near us.
There are squads near us?
Dag0D says,
Almost
no.
3 months ago, I put out a leak about the Switch 2 that really did make some waves online due to confirming basically everything you needed to know about the general specs and performance of the much anticipated.
I need better guns. I have a Prowler and an Ultimate. This shit sucks. I'm going down here.
I leaked more specific details about the specs, details that have now been independently confirmed in other outlets, by the way, so you can take them to the bank. But then I also elaborated on why AMD lost the bid against NVIDIA for the console. And I actually suspect that that's something that many people have forgotten was included in those leaks. AMD bid against NVIDIA to make the Switch 2 APU, and they barely lost. But they did bid against NVIDIA, and the Switch uses ARM, and backwards compatibility is very important to Nintendo. So I think it's incredibly plausible and logical to have assumed that if AMD was bidding for the Switch 2, they were probably at least doing some early design work for an APU that might use ARM, not x86. And heck, it might even be plausible to suggest that the K12 project, or some vestige of it, zombied on after Jim Keller left the company and accused AMD of killing K12. I mean, heck, it was still in leaked roadmaps after Jim left AMD. So yeah, with all of that in mind, I'm really not sure why I didn't consider back then that AMD was possibly already working
I'm going up the hill, just so you know.
Architecture for an APU for customers that demanded to use ARM instead of x86. I don't know why I didn't think about that back then, but what I can say now is this. They are, at least one of those APUs is going to use ARM, and it is called Soundwave. Now, Soundwave, I believe, was first leaked when some AMD employee listed it on their LinkedIn profile. And I do have to point out that it should have stuck out like a sore thumb back then with its entirely diverse naming scheme, with a wave, not a point or something, in its name. And I would actually infer that this is likely the start of an entire family of generations of ARM AMD APUs that will take the Wave moniker, not the Point or Halo moniker. But I don't know that for sure. So do take that as speculation that AMD would be planning to make multiple generations like this whole thing planned out. But I would infer that from seeing them use Wave instead of Point. And now I want to tell you what's not speculation, what I can 100% or at least very likely confirm about AMD's Soundwave APU. Let's not waste time. Let's put that quote slide right on screen about Soundwave. And yes, this is an early leak. I have limited information at this point, but I think it's big enough that it was worth putting out now because it is just such a big deal, I feel, that AMD is considering releasing an APU with a CPU that utilizes ARM instead of x86. Now, besides that, though, I can also confirm that the NPU is supposed to be very powerful in this thing, that it is being purpose-built to win Microsoft's Surface from Qualcomm. I can also tell you that it is supposed to have a 2026 release date, but this is really just a loose target here. What I can say is that it's a near 0% chance that Soundwave launches next year, and that it could slip to 2027. But this thing is far enough out that I really can't give you anything more specific than probably launching in 2026. But then I can also tell you with a high confidence that there's a lot of attention being paid to this project by senior management. And from that, me and a couple of my sources
Dag0D says,
that it
it's
seems
one
like
dude.
leadership's insisting on it progressing
Yeah, but there's another team coming at him.
and quickly so that it doesn't end up like Strix, which of course I have already leaked numerous times.
Dag0D says, no, just one
really
dude.
had a lot of problems. So I suspect
No,
that
I literally
AMD
just ran
believes
past the team
timing
on the
will
way
be
out.
extra important for Soundwave to be a success. And so they aren't afraid to kill the project if it starts falling behind schedule, and they don't want it to, so they're keeping close tabs on it and making sure the people working on it are the people they feel are the best people for the job. And so, yeah, that's most of what I can confirm about Soundwave right
Look at
now.
shitty
That
ass
information
guns.
comes from a couple of key AMD sources that usually know about things before anybody else does. Even if those other people work at AMD, these are people that usually know it before even other people at AMD. But of course, I did reach out to a dozen other
I don't know how the
sources
fuck.
to see if,
I'm not getting
you
to
know,
any of that.
anyone else
I'm
knew
waiting for new
anything,
drops.
like asking vague questions like, what do you think about if AMD made an ARM APU, and then see what their reaction was, see if they could independently say Soundwave or something. And I didn't get something like that, but I did get one of my other sources to say something that entirely backs up that AMD's working on an ARM APU. And I also got some really interesting feedback about what this might mean for the future of ARM SoCs with Intel and NVIDIA. And I want to talk about that, but first an ad from Micro Center, who is a sponsor of this video. Micro Center is one of the best places to go to build a new PC. If you check out the links in the description, which remember even just clicking on those links below helps the channel a lot, you'll see tons of excellent deals out there right now. Just about everything, including the most powerful CPU on the market for hundreds of dollars off. Budget CPUs like the 5600X for $140. And even the best gaming CPU you can buy right now, the 7800X 3D, for just $340, and it comes with 32 gigabytes of RAM for free. Honestly, I would say don't wait for Zen 5. A $340 7800X 3D with free RAM is a better deal now. Even if Zen 5 overperforms, you can probably sell it, keep the RAM, get a Zen 5 CPU, and you probably
Let's
still
hope
save
for a
money.
respawn.
So check out those deals right now below. And also don't forget that Micro Center has the Realty Ender 3S1 for $149. And they even have a news area right now that includes shopping guides, building tutorials, and other PC gaming how-tos.
Bro, you got so
There's
lucky.
a link in the
Let's
description that
go.
will bring you to
There's
that
people
as well.
coming
And
though.
again, get on that link or any of the other links below. It really helps the channel. Share the Micro Center after you do so helps even more. Support Moore's Law is Dead by supporting Micro Center today. All right, so when I took that initial Soundwave information to my other sources, most people either loved or hated the idea of AMD making an ARM APU, but besides that, they knew pretty much nothing. However, a handful of sources did have some really interesting stuff to say, and I do think it's worth sharing with you all. So without further ado, let me also put these reaction quotes on screen from some of my sources. Now, the first one here is an AMD partner who said that, honestly, I think ARM Windows PCs are going to be huge. I really suspect that the main reason AMD and Intel were ignoring ARM for so long is simply because it didn't work well with Windows. But I do think that is rapidly changing.
You're
I do
above
think there
me.
is some truth to that. And not just that it doesn't need to improve anymore. I still think, you know, making ARM efficiently work with the Windows operating system does still need a lot of work, but I feel like Microsoft is telegraphing that they are going to keep putting in the work, and I don't feel like they really proved they were a decade ago, but now they are. Now, a second source here, this person from Intel that I thought would be interesting to get their reactions from, said that their initial reaction about AMD making an ARM APU
I think we should turn around and go
that it
back.
sounded silly. AMD is on top of x86 right now, and at least internally at Intel, they don't think that ARM
Dag0D
really
says,
gives
right
you
on
an
top of us.
efficiency advantage.
Yep, right on top of us. We should turn around and get back to where we were, but we gotta.
If you're running Windows. Having said that, though, this person said that if AMD really is doing this, that they have immense respect for their spirit of innovation, that this would be a risky play.
Yo, get on my drone. Get on my drone right here. Don't splash around though. Stay crouched.
Kind of like
So we're not splashing. That was the whole thing. I waited until that stone got close because I don't want them to hear us. They are right on top of us. We can go back out that door we came out of. Don't splash, bro.
Other segments, but the person
now they heard us.
They could argue that maybe AMD is just preparing to try years that dang, they really hope Intel hasn't missed the boat on something again. Now, moving on to the final source here, which is really the most important one on this slide, this person said that it's funny that I asked about an ARM APU. Lately, AMD's been asking them to submit to them as many bug reports as they can, even if they're from ARM systems. They said that they even have some ARM radio test systems that they were helping them troubleshoot, which I guess is something.
What an asshole! I said fucking be quiet, and all you do is splash around and they come down and look at you. One guy kills us both because you can't fucking be quiet.
I was really interested in what causes crashes, especially if it's CPU-related crashes in ARM systems. And so there you go. I have to say that final source there, I took that while I was putting together these notes as an additional source outside of AMD that is seemingly backing up that AMD is up to something when it comes to making an ARM APU. And you can bet that last source's quote is something that pushed me over the edge and being extra confident that it was worth leaking this bombshell information today. But, you know, I actually want to close on not that last source, but the middle one, the Intel one, something that that Intel source touched on. Is Intel missing the boat again? Because Intel missed smartphones, they missed tablets, they missed the GPU boom and then launched GPUs when they should have been launching AI products. So they've effectively missed the AI boom. And then when you look at rumors of NVIDIA also working on ARM APUs, I don't know, it just feels like once again, everybody is designing products for this new market that's supposed to expand a lot in the coming years, besides Intel. And I don't know, maybe ARM is overhyped. In fact, I actually kind of think that it is overhyped. Maybe it won't be as big, you know, ARM Windows PCs as Microsoft and Qualcomm are hoping it will be. But what if it is? What if it's even half as big as they're saying? That's still a lot of money to be made. Can Intel really afford to miss out on this? And as I was writing that line there that I just said and wrapping up the notes for this video before I started recording, I actually had a surreal feeling upon realizing that I really didn't have a big section in an AMD APU video leak that would go into how Intel will respond, and that's because Intel just wasn't brought up by my AMD sources for this one. And in fact, Intel rarely came up in conversation with any of the other sources that I talked to. Everyone just said why it would make sense for AMD and why they might want to compete with Apple or Qualcomm. And it's just crazy to think that one of AMD's highest priority projects going on right now is being made, and no one's talking about how it will perform against Intel because they don't really care. Who's in the rear view mirror now, Pat?
Give Marco a wing, man.
What? I just gotta say for the record.
Ring close in 1 minute.
On some real shit, man. Cause I was a little offended by the fact that Alinity would just assume that I just give it up like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause I don't just give it up like that. I really don't. So let's let that be known. So I'm just gonna say now. So when I'm having sex with Alinity, I'm gonna let her know that I don't normally do this shit. This ain't the norm.
Hey, we got ourselves
Mine's Kaiko.
Haha, first blood.
Ring close.
I'm getting shot.
Yo, I'm hot.
Go here. Moving is a good idea.
Kill leader eliminated.
Giving my shields a recharge.
Thought it was a joke, but it's weird now. Dude, if you were her dad...
Extra supplies over here. Pass me that sugar. 10 seconds, right next door. Easy. Taking damage over here.
You'd be like, nah, I'm not doing it. You would, of course, do it.
Giving my shields a recharge.
Hey, let's group up. Let's group up.
Listen up, the ring's moving.
Good luck. Everywhere I went, I was getting shot.
That's what you're doing. You're sitting in their gut. Don't pretend like you really
Come on, Scrim. Let's get to it.
lie to me. You are spitting in their goddamn face. Big said.
Thanks, Ro. Salamat po.
I really committed
Did I get
to
the
that.
ring?
Getting shot at. Recharging my shield. 1 sec.
Hey, come help, Scrappy.
Watch out, I'm opening this guy. I'm getting shot. No good, brothers. I've been down.
You know, I really just don't miss this. I'll be honest, I really just don't miss this.
Hey, Scrappy.
Underscore dollar crim dot underscore says, bro.
Oh, nice. He's practicing behind the tree.
Alright, well, that's enough. I think that's enough, right? We can agree.
Listen, whatever you're about to say, if it ain't tech news, I don't want it.
On your feet. Lifelines got your back. Help John if you need it.
In a shocking example of rival technologies working together, it's been confirmed that NVIDIA's DLSS upscaling tech and AMD's FSR frame generation can both be run simultaneously. No sooner did the game launch on Steam than Twitter user Bluehook posted about reaching over 170 frames per second by enabling the two features on their RTX 3090. Bluehook's Twitter claims they get computers putin, and TechLink can confirm that this is indeed
They're all
fact.
healing.
Bluehook's computers do indeed compute. Other outlets have verified that using both features together though I'm sure there may be some issues with the existence of this unholy alliance of features is thanks to NVIDIA locking DLSS frame generation to RTX 40 series cards, and AMD decoupling its frame gen tech from the rest
There's nothing
of
I
its
could do there.
FSR features back in March, allowing AMD to be the frame gen of so many games ever since NVIDIA went to the store to get married. OpenAI and Reddit have announced a deal that will allow ChatGPT to access real-time Reddit posts through the site's API, while Reddit will be bringing new AI AI-powered features to Redditors and mods.
Try to craft this.
Naturally, Redditors were starting to get upset and make a big stink about this when, oh, look, Reddit awards are back after being taken away last year. Oh, they even said they're sorry they messed up and they're going to give coins back to users who lost them. Oh, wow. Wait. What was I talking about before? Was it Sony declaring that they hereby opt out of AI being trained on any of their content? Nah, maybe. Maybe everybody should opt out, because according to former and current OpenAI employees, it's not just that a few people have left due to disagreements about the company's priorities. The entire super alignment team, responsible for ensuring the company's products stay aligned with the interests of humanity rather than the interests of new flirtatiously giggly AIs, has been dissolved and spread among other departments. The same day this news came out, Sam Altman's priority was to apparently throw shade at Google I/O's aesthetic, despite claiming he doesn't think about competitors too much. 3 days after, he timed an OpenAI event to undercut Google's for the second time this year. I mean, I kind of believe him. I would guess the only thing that he thinks about a lot is the moment when he'll turn on the machine
$$crim._says, res.
I will. Don't you want to get in first?
Before morphing its arm into a blade and slicing his head off. One day. In a motion filed this morning, Google says it wrote the U.S. government a cashier's check for triple the maximum amount of damages claimed in the Department of Justice's ongoing lawsuit over Google's anti-competitive advertising practices. But Google says this makes any claim of monetary damages moot, because how could you have missed out on money when you have a check right there for all the money? I mean, it's right there on the table. We all see it. Google's motion also seeks to have a judge rather than a jury preside over the upcoming trial. And to be fair, the DOJ's demand for a jury trial has been described by some legal experts as unprecedented for this kind of case. But a jury would also mean a great increase in the amount of checks Google would have to write to make this all go away. So it's probably worth it just for that reason. Why make it easier? And it's also worth it to check out today's sponsor, Odoo, if you need a website, which you probably do. Let's say you got no coding experience and very limited time, but you need to create a website to grow your very niche, custom-wrapped traffic cone business. Well, with Odoo, it's easier than you'd think. Their code-free drag-and-drop elements and AI copywriter give you all the tools you need to get your site up and running quickly. And the best part, it's free. You'll even get unlimited hosting, reliable support, and a free custom domain for an entire year. Visit the link below and start creating your own free website with QuickBits. QuickBits. That's kind of my default conversation opener. Do you think it's good, or should I change it? ASUS has acknowledged and apologized for any confusion and frustration experienced by their customers following widespread complaints about the company's warranty and repair processes. Yeah, issuing preposterous repair bills to customers whose products were, crucially, not fully repaired does sound a bit frustrating. ASUS has committed to revising their pricing structure and improving communication with their customers. And to sweeten the deal, they even accidentally leaked one of these Snapdragon X-powered laptops they're probably going to announce on Monday. Ooh, it's got an Intel Qualcomm Adreno GPU? All is forgiven, ASUS. That's pretty good. Microsoft's PC Manager, a combination security and utility tool currently only available in certain regions, is apparently giving users repair tips, suggesting that they fix their PC by reverting their default search engine back to Bing. Doing the opposite, but okay. Well, Microsoft has already explored putting ads in these.
Let's go to watch later.
Care package being delivered.
Care package. I love these things.
We think Asus is lying in its latest statement. Quote, currently, we perform a full analysis of devices sent for RMA and send customers a comprehensive list of available repairs, free and paid, in our messaging to customers. We understand this may have caused confusion when a customer has only ordered a specific repair. Yes, the classic blaming the customer aspect for being confused when they were offered an option to pay for an unnecessary repair, but not fix the actual warranted issue for which the device was sent in. Classic. misdirection, as always. Glad to see absolutely nothing has changed in the past year since we spoke with Asus. And by the way, almost literally a year to the day since we last talked about this issue. In fact, tomorrow would be the 1-year anniversary. So good timing, Asus, on this. So, a classic, it's not us, it's you. You're the confused one. Now, in this instance, Asus claims they sent a comprehensive list of free and paid-for repairs. They did not do that, and in fact, we published in part 1 our timeline, and Asus only initially told us as a reminder the following, quote, "We would like to inform you that your product is out of warranty or judged as customer-induced damage, thus the repair charge shall be applied." That was the email. There was no list, and it's really clear exactly what they're telling us. There's no confusion to be had. It says you're going to be charged for repair for damage you caused. That is what that sentence said. Nowhere in there was this list provided. Now, only later did Asus eventually provide a list, and at that time, it was the list of paid-for repairs. So they have failed to meet their own qualifier of paid-for and free. Once again, it wasn't until we pressed them that they provided the free repairs. So at best, Asus's representation of the facts and the timeline is inaccurate. And at worst, they are intentionally lying and attempting to deceive. And now that this is a...
Where am I even getting shot from there?
It's hard to give the benefit of the doubt when it's a recurring issue and it's a pattern. Before that, this video is brought to you by Squarespace, and visiting squarespace.com/gamersnexus will give you 10% off your first purchase with them. We've built a number of our own websites with Squarespace, where we list catastrophic PC hardware failures to inform subscribers of those failures. We also built our store website with Squarespace using its built-in e-commerce tools, and of course, we built a website for our CEO, Snowflake, because she demanded our audience know who really runs the show. Get to the core of your idea and spend less time on web design by signing up at squarespace.com/gamersnexus or click the link below. Asus said this after our video. They said, quote, "Recent feedback has highlighted some gaps in our RMA communication process in the US and Canada. We deeply apologize to our customers and community for any confusion and frustration they might have experienced from this. We have taken your feedback to heart and are committed to making improvements." Just a quick aside here, that specifically only addressed the US and Canada. All right, continuing, they said, quote, "We want to assure our customers that any repairs covered under the manufacturer's limited warranty have always been and will continue to be free of charge. It is never the intent of Asus to charge any customers a fee that does not directly address the device malfunctions they are experiencing. We now recognize that the current process and the language used does not adequately convey this information. We are working diligently to make changes in the best interest of our customers." This really feels like it's skirting the reality of the situation in a few ways, but one thing that is starting to become frustrating is this promise of action. Just do it. Just make the change and say what the change was. If that means another week of bureaucracy before you can post the change, fine. But do something and have a receipt to show that it has been done. They've already done this. They did this last year. And, you know, like, once you can kind of listen to it and say, okay, well, we'll check back in later. We checked back in later, hasn't changed. So, you know, the only difference is that this time it wasn't a motherboard, it was a handheld device. So anyway, Asus saying it recognizes that their process is unclear is good. It is an admission of a problem, so they get acknowledgement for at least that. The bad part is that they're saying unclear as if it's the customer getting confused, which is something that they ensure is the takeaway of this messaging in bullet point 2 at the end of the statement when they say it again. So the reality is that it actually is completely clear in some ways, and that we had to ask follow-up questions in order to get the service we were guaranteed under the written warranty policy is the clear part. So fortunately, this being a written policy serves as excellent legal ammunition that is very useful for anyone who may have a claim. And if you're informed of your rights, you can start making use of them, which again, we're going to be addressing through the rest of this series. Quote, "In addition to addressing issues on an individual basis with our customers that have come forward, we are also making changes to our RMA process. Effective May 16th, we will implement the following actions to optimize the customer repair experience. Point 1, we are revising our repair pricing structure for out-of-warranty products. This includes a thorough review process for for any abnormal pricing to ensure consistency, transparency, and fairness. The problem wasn't the being out of warranty part in our specific instance, but if this is a different also problem that they have, then great. It's good that they're addressing it. We kind of come back to the same point though, which is just do it, make the revision, and then tell us what that is. That would be more useful here. And again, that we might not have as strict of a kind of a demand on that if we hadn't been through this before. Next, quote, currently we perform a full analysis of devices sent for RMA and sent customers a comprehensive list of available repairs, free and paid. We already talked about that in our messaging to customers. We understand this may have caused confusion when a customer has only ordered a specific repair. We'll no longer automatically offer repair quotations for cosmetic imperfections unless they affect the device's functionality or are specifically asked for by the customer. So we already sort of talked about this in the beginning, but the new part of this quote here is they're not going to offer repair quotes for cosmetic imperfections anymore. That's as simple as if it happens once, then they've kind of breached that new policy. So easy enough to keep an eye on. Unfortunately, this bullet point, though, by, in our opinions, misrepresenting our experience and that of other customers who've emailed us, does kind of take the trustworthiness out of the entire post because there is something in there which is just explicitly not true, and we already taled about that. Next, quote, we'll update the verbiage of our automatic emailing system for increased clarity so our customers always know what repairs will be offered for free.
Sorry for live.
Question. Now, that's interesting, too, because it's kind of in conflict with bullet point 2, which was
What do you drive?
they already offer that,
boy.
and now they're saying we're going to update it so we offer it.
I drive a purple Lamborghini.
So interesting. Finally, they give you some numbers and a website if you need help. Now, on May 18th, 2023, Asus wrote us their plan to fix the AM5 motherboard issues. The problem is that if we, again, as a community, have to hold Asus or any company responsible for individual products in their catalog, it is an impossible challenge because they have hundreds, if not thousands.
I go back to it every day.
And individual or categorical warranty investigations are not going to fix a systemic problem. This is a poisoned well that appears to have plagued how Asus operates at that systemic level. Our disappointment in Asus here has genuinely sunk into new lows. We do try to provide the opportunity to improve. As I stated before, at the end of the saga last year, the sequence, we kind of said, well, we'll check back in. They've said things that are good and seem to be the right things, and now it's about action. And this was the time for Asus to show action, and we've seen how much Asus cares. In fact, they cared so much that in one of their support emails, and we didn't ding them for this originally, they offered us an Asus Cares discount code. So that certainly makes the move, in our opinion, clear. To get into this, we're going to have Vincent Augusta on again today, and he's going to be talking about Asus's warranty process, what we walk through, and consumer rights. This is a big change that I've been trying to make at GN for more seriously for the last year or so, and the change we're making is, you know, we have long pushed an angle of consumer awareness.
Let's run. Let's run. Let's get out of here while our teammates down.
And we've had a good mix of things that have been done well.
We're gonna craft you, but we can't get into that fight right now.
The problem is, plainly speaking, we cannot possibly serve one request of the community, which has been, okay, so if you can't trust Asus or you can't trust Gigabyte during this power supply issue or whatever, who do you trust? And it's really a question directed either at me or at my team, and I'd love to answer it, but I can't. And the reason I can't answer it is because it's not that simple. Where a company, first of all, we don't generally trust companies in totality. It's more of a product level. You can maybe distrust a company in totality if you've had bad experience with them as a consumer, protect yourself. But to trust one fully, it's only going to take one bad experience. And we can't extend a recommendation of a motherboard manufacturer to whom we trust, because there isn't one. And it's not necessarily because they are all the same level of shady or manipulative or deceitful, because I don't think that's true, but they all have their own flavor of that. As quick rapid-fire examples, Asus, we don't need to explain, that's recent. Gigabyte had the power supply issue that we covered years ago, and they did a lot of the same things.
Oh my God, what the heck?
They were attempting to deceive and misrepresent the situation.